something about the miracles. There's no place to run and hide. Take another trip on the carousel ride. On the carousel ride, that's what it is. You're dead and die. Another reason to get high. Oh, take another spin on the carousel ride. Oh, this is off the hook. Young people, y'all got good music now. I haven't listened to music in a long time. Who is this? Rubblebucket. NPR music tray. Tiny desk. Y'all can't hear that. Good morning, everybody. Let me get everything going. Little young sister, wasn't it? Okay, round and round we go. Hoping for a miracle. Got no place. I can run and hide. I guess I'll take another spin on the Harkonnen ride. Harkonnen ride. All right, hang on. I have to enjoy myself. Hold on. Wait. Let me get the comments going. Good morning, everybody. Oh my goodness gracious, did we have a weekend? How was y'all's weekend? Did we have a weekend? Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, it's a lot today. This might be a long one. I would love to have a short video today, but that's probably not going to happen. All right, let me get ready. Let me get set up. Good morning, everybody. Who is that? Ooh, Melissa, good morning. I love the music. Yeah, they're good. Them boys can sing. That girl, she got out there and they got that trumpet. And then she starts yelling. I like that, Melissa. Like when people they just get to yelling and screaming, and they're screaming, but they're singing at the same time. Oh, I'll send y'all a link. Y'all should listen to Rubblebucket. I think they're from, where are they from? New Orleans or something like that? Hang on, let me go find the, I love music. I listen to music all the time. I have not listened to music in a very long time on the radio, though. I'm still trapped in the 80s. I don't think they make good music. And every now and then somebody like this might slip out. My biggest problem, I like real music. I like real artists with real music. And they throw them by the side of the road. Real people with real music, real artists, real passion. Not somebody that knows somebody, got a friend of an uncle of a cousin or somebody that would give them a shot at a record. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Yeah, but I see Patricia House. I see you started out with the boom. The very first comment was boom, because Patricia, she pay attention. She's a conspiracy theorist. Someone who thinks that the world is not on television, the real world. Yeah. Interesting weekend, wasn't it, Patricia? Interesting weekend. We could talk about all the evidence that tells you that none of this is what it seems, and it's piling up. I don't even think I want to mention it. It's so deep right now. It's so deep how they're lying, and I was stupid enough. You know what I did, Patricia? I went to the store this weekend. Oh my God, I give up. I give up. Where did I go? Home Depot? Oh my gosh. What is wrong with you? I don't even want to go. I got so upset. I got an attitude, Patricia, and I was attitudinal. I think was that Saturday or Sunday? One of them days I had an attitude. I wasn't playing. Oh, I was looking for a fight. I was trying to get me a fight. Not in public. I was here on social media. I was looking for a fight. I was like, y'all know Kanye West was right? Y'all know Kanye was right? And nobody bit. I don't think anybody bit. Let me go see if somebody bit. I was upset. It says, when he said slavery is a choice, he was right? He wasn't lying. He tell you, Jack, where are you at right now? Where are you at? In your house, wearing masks, gloves, and they got protective shields now, Patricia. They have protective shields out there walking around. I like, shame on y'all. Every last one of you, social distancing. You got to spread germs to create an ecosystem. Oh, I was upset. I was like, slavery's a choice because y'all just did exactly what your master told you to do. They're going to end the shutdown. What shutdown? I'm not shut down. You shut down? I ain't shut down. Ain't nothing for me changed. Something for you changed. The only change for me is I need a bigger garden. That's the only thing. I have more gardening time. I have more time to do the things that are useful in the world. Nothing. You don't have to worry about the shutdown when it comes to me. I was never in your world anyway. I was never in your world. I was never a Harkonnen. I don't believe in House Harkonnen. Y'all know who the Harkonnens are? We got to do that analogy. We got to sync that right back up. The Harkonnens are people who were trying to create cyborgs. Gerard, you're supposed to be putting in the YouTube comments. I know YouTube. I'm on my way. Let me stop. I look at the comments, I get discombobulated. I get led astray over there. Anyway, you've been bamboozled, people. You've been run amok. You're trying to stop a freight train that cannot be stopped. You got onion farmers. They got onions going bad in the field, and you got people. No one's working in from that perspective. But I appreciate my state. My state, they're still farming. They must kind of sort of be okay with the people. I don't think they love the people. I don't think government's the thing that can love. I think it's just an entity in a system. But I will say this, they kept the farms going while they shut down everything else, all in these other states. They kept my farming going. So we're going to have some food. We're going to have some shrimps and some steaks. And no, not that. The meat systems have shut down, but you still got farmers prepping. But that's what I mean, like the ignorance and all of this. You can't stop a freight train. You can't, it's like farming, like, oh, well, what is farming? It's just putting some seeds in the ground and food comes up. That is not how that works. It's not how, it's a freight train of prepping this and prepping the soil and doing this and moving some big machines around and changing this and getting that poo off of that field, moving to this field, burning that field, spraying that out on that field. It's a process. It's a big process, and that's the organic side here. The organic natural side is easy. Then you got the chemical farmers, which is the vast majority, the ones that Harkonnen government subsidizing, trying to make you a sick, deadly, death-like creature and trying to pull me into your synthetic world. Yeah, it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight. I am not going to be a Harkonnen. I will live on my own tube. Or y'all going to have to just put me in a hole because I ain't going for it. I ain't buying it. All right, G, bring the comments, and I am the coming. Come on, everybody. Hope everybody had a good night, got a good night's rest, had a good weekend, enjoying the little bits of freedom that you got. There we go. YouTube comments. There we go. Reading. Most people don't read. No, girl head, because if people read, then they'd be free. People can't. If people read, they would be free. No, they just watch that TV. That's all they do. They think the real world is there. I like conspiracy, because a conspiracy theorist technically is a person that just believes the real world is not on that damn billionaire's television. But there we go. All right, BK comments and UK comments, and let's flip the music. Good morning, everybody. What are we talking about today? I got a few points I'm gonna make. I'm gonna try to read comments as I go. Boom, boom. What's today? Monday? All day today. All day. Good point. Good point. Let's flip to the talk music. All right, and Brother Walter got me this morning. He gave me my first inbox to let me know that the Dr. SHIVA is CIA. So there you go. I told him, Rob, brother, I love you, but I don't really care. Dr. SHIVA is not my hero. He did heroic things, but he's not my hero. I look at what people do, what they say. If it's true, it's true, and I really don't care about the rest. I already, he's running for Senate or something. I'm not so interested in that side of it. I'm not interested in him making me a sandwich either, because he doesn't know what kind of sandwich I like. I'm not interested in him picking my shoes, because he doesn't know what shoes I like. And half the time, I don't even wear shoes. I go walking in the dirt. It's called grounding. It's good for your ecosystem and your health, so you don't catch the cuckoo virus when it comes around. So I really don't care too much about the whole hero-villain thing. I'm not into that. I'm not into the hero-villain thing. Take what's true, use that against it. What's that called? Judo? Or Kempo. I keep mixing the two. Take your opponent's power and use it against them. Take their weight and use it against the system. That's what you do. Because Dr. SHIVA, he know about doctoring. Because I don't think he's even a doctor, though. He's a PhD. But he's a genius when it comes to that. When it comes to what kind of pizza I like, I don't care. Okay, when it comes to voting, I don't care. I care. I'm going to use him for what he's smart with, and that's it. Lori is good at nursing. Lori, I asked Lori about nursing stuff. The rest of it, I don't even care. Jasmine, about to have a baby. I asked Jasmine about baby stuff. How your feet hurt? Is your belly swole? What do you eat? She knows what she like. I have no damn idea what Jasmine likes to eat. She might have cravings for okra ice cream. I have no damn idea. So her asking me what she should eat is stupid. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, Christina's on The Art of War. I don't know why people do that. I love Walter today. And Walter is a genius. Walter is a genius when it comes to some facts and a principle level. He can do that most of the time, 98.72% of the time. He does it. I appreciate him definitely. I love that brother to death. But when it comes to somebody CIA, he's my CIA. He's a CIA. Boy, I tell you what. Yeah, CIA! Take people for what they good at. And I said, my mama, she loved me. She good at that. She loved me. She good at that. I asked her to, I don't know, grow some food. Oh no, she grew up on a farm and she threw that away. She found her a good boy from the city. So she ain't had to wallow in dirt no more. You know, use people for what they're good for. Dr. Shiva knows what the hell is going on. If y'all watched the last thing that I posted this morning on Dr. Shiva, and we can watch that if y'all didn't watch it, he explains to you. So the profound things from the weekend, let's kind of do that. Let's try to wrap that up a little bit. So the profound things for me over the weekend. One, just because it'll piss people off. Oh, that brother was right. Oh my God, was Kanye right? Oh, he was so right. I had no idea how right he was. Now, he wrong on the Trump stuff. I don't get me on that. No, don't take me over there. No, I ain't going to no Republican voting stuff. Same with Dr. Shiva and this one to run, be in office and all that voting nonsense. But he was right on slavery being a choice. And in case anybody just wants to like catch an attitude or something like that, I'm going to say it very clear and loud. Slavery's a choice. Slavery's a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice now. It's a choice then. It's a choice forever. All right? Ever. No, I am not proud from a stand-up perspective of my Irish background, my Cherokee background, nor my African background. Why? Because they all wimps. They were all wimps. But they had to be wimps at the time. They all got taken into slavery. Like I said before, ain't nobody taking me into slavery. You can tell me to stay in my house, and when I need to leave my house, I'm leaving my house. I have not been on lockdown. I watch y'all on lockdown. I don't give two damns what anybody got to say. You show up the coast with a boat, some people, some chains and guns and bow and arrows, you're gonna have to stick all that in me. That's how I got down this week, and watching everybody walk around in the Home Depot like we're in some sort of a pandemic. What the hell is wrong with you people? I love y'all to death. Love y'all to death, but you're crazy as hell. You trust that television that's owned by billionaire Harkonnens too much, if you understand that analogy. Woo! Yeah, so I was aggressive this week. I was a little aggressive. I knew I shouldn't have been online this weekend. I had to check out a little bit. I tried not to be online too much because I don't understand. Everybody's got to have their limits, and I got mine. Thank you for subscribing, C. Tamara. If I said that right. There's limits. I'm not a slave, but I will say this. In that day, my Cherokee ancestors did what they should have done. You know why? Because they made me. That's why I'm not judging. I'm not judging them. I just ain't the one. Charles Stewart, if that is that, am I repeating? Was this something from like 3 days ago? Is YouTube playing me? My African heritage ancestors, they did what they were supposed to do. They made me. They got on the boat, and I'm glad they could take it. I'm glad that they could sit there and be strong. They were strong in their own way. Let me say it that way. Ricardo A. Let me say it that way. They were strong in their own way. I'm not strong in that way. I'm not strong where I'm going to go sit in the house because the lords and kings tell me to. I don't have that kind of strength. I don't have that kind of strength. Come on with us. Get on this boat here. Put these chains on your arm. I don't have that kind of strength. I'm weak when it comes to that. They were who they were supposed to be, and I'm who I'm supposed to be. Who I'm supposed to be is you ain't getting nothing on me, monkey. You ain't getting nothing on me. You show up to my house with that Harkonnen synthetic drug. Oh, hell no. That's why I said this weekend I was picking a fight. I was like, the first time somebody make a cure, and they already probably got the cure. In a Harkonnen sense, to me, that ain't the cure. The cure is called grounding, drinking fresh water, not putting things in your body that kills off your ecosystem. Your ecosystem is what protects you. You have an internal herd immunity. If you're immune to the nonsense outside your skin, that means you're doing pretty good. That means you're eating natural, healthy things. I don't care about the Harkonnen herd immunity. That's Harkonnen immunity. That's what it's called. I'm not worried about Harkonnen immunity. Nancy Tillily, I don't know. I think I remember that name. So you got the Harkonnens from Dune. Those were the ones who believed. Oh, I didn't even bring my comments up right here. Those are the ones who believed in the technocracy, right? The war has always been against human beings joining with the technology, outsourcing organic processes in the human body because a corporation can make some money. I'm not interested in what you consider health. I'm not interested at all. I really don't care on what you think is healthy because I'm not a you. Society is segmenting in multiple ways in different places, and I'm going along with the natural health people, right? Because I don't believe that y'all figure nothing out. I don't trust your Baron Harkonnen Gates. I don't trust him. I think he's crazy and silly and stupid. I think he's just, he probably got some boil somewhere. You just need to add, can we strip search that man between him And that other criminal, there's a couple of them. You need to strip search them. I bet you got boils everywhere, boils all over. So look at this. These people subscribing here, they're subscribing like multiple times. Or it's just running in a loop. So I guess if you subscribe to me on YouTube, you're going to get a shout out every damn video to it. YouTube gets that fixed. So the Harkonnen thing is a thing. I was upset. I was aggressive. I was looking for a fight. Nobody jumped into it. So I was like, all right, everybody agrees then. Slavery's a choice. Everybody agree? Okay, everybody agree. Good. Abuse is a choice. Can we agree to that? Abuse is a choice. Yes. Abusers are abused, and we decide. Strong people who can deal with it because they got kids, strong people who can deal with it because of whatever, and we try to wake them up, we try to give them strength, we try to do anything we can. But to me, being abused by your state, being abused by your neighbor, being abused by your husband, your wife, your kids, whoever's abusing you, it's a choice. I learned that from sister who ran a domestic violence shelter down in, was it Virginia or West Virginia? Sister Anita Ball, I think was her name. There are people who are prone to abuse and people who aren't. I'm just not prone to abuse. I'm not prone to abuse. So as soon as they make that cure, as soon as the Baron Harkonnen, as soon as he makes that cure, bring it to me first. Come on and bring it to me. Bring that media with you. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say nothing else on that. But I don't believe in Harkonnen science. I don't. That's the Harkonnens were the ones in Dune who were the floaty guys with the boils and bubbles and injecting themselves and like eating, taking the bug, put it in the glass thing, squishing it and had a straw and sucking it up. The sick people, those are those sick people, the ones that had CVS's and Walgreens, the ones who thought that you could heal biological creatures with chemicals and synthetic drugs, them. That's who that, the Harkonnens. Technocracy, replacing the human beings with technology. Anyway, good morning. So a couple things. Let me see if I can sum this up real quick. Let me sum this up. This weekend, a lot of great things happened. One was Hanaha. I remember that name. That's an old name. Foulsi got caught. Y'all know who Foulsi is? Do y'all watch the news? I don't watch the news, but Foulsi got caught. His name is spelled Foulsi. Foulsi. Foulsi is his name. Make sure you pronounce it correctly. He got caught. Did y'all watch Dane Wigington? Did you watch Brother Dane got him? Brother, I know they say, oh, but Gerard, the link disappeared to your YouTube channel with the. I know, I had to. It was copyright infringement. But I thought you don't care about copyrights. I don't. I don't. They can all go to hell. I don't. The only copyright is what the ancestors made that everybody has access to, the free energy and all of that stuff, which I need to talk about that too, and the whole Q thing. Fauci got caught. He got caught. If you listen to Dane, the geoengineering guy, geoengineering.org, Dane Wigington, go to 45 minutes into his last video, and you hear Fauci say that this was he said during the Trump presidency, I have to go to my timeline because I'm going to mess the quote up. There's going to be a special epidemic. Something like that. Let me go get the quote. I'll go get the quote for you. He said there's going to be a special epidemic. And I know before people say, tell me what he was thinking about. Oh, he was thinking about something else. I'm like, you know how that's not how detective work works. You know that, right? You know that's not how you do detective work. You don't deny every time that everything is pushing in this way. If you got Trump who said that this is artificially induced, you got the scientists who said it's a bioweapon. You got the new article that's out on Daily News that shows it's a bioweapon made from bats that America had, that they gave $38 million to China and Wuhan. We can look at that too. You add that up with the scientists also who were saying it's a bioweapon. Yeah, come on. And there's a lot of stuff going on, like I said before. But when you start to add all this evidence up of people saying it's a plan, at some point in time, you got to be old enough to understand that this was all orchestrated. All of it. You've been played. But people don't like to admit when they've been played because they're having fun in the grocery store with their masks. And this is like a freight train. You can't stop a freight train. People are going to die. But it's a great thing. It's a great thing because I think we're in a great place and we can make some phenomenal things happen. Happy Easter, everybody. It's pagan holiday. I didn't wish nobody happy Easter because I'm sorry. I think y'all got a lot of stuff wrong. But, you know, we're not going to go there. We're going to leave King James alone. Y'all want to worship your colonizers and killers and all the things that they make up and say and do. And I'm not interested in Harkonnen anything. Harkonnen government, Harkonnen biology, Harkonnen psychology, Harkonnen science. I'm not interested in any of the Harkonnen cures. All right, there we go. That's how I know it's fake. It's Buddha Cat not right there, Buddha Cat right here. I seen Buddha Cat a minute ago. She ain't on YouTube, she right over here. So that's all fake. Yeah, Fauci said in 2017. There you go, Patricia Hauser. And I deleted the video because I need people to watch Dane Wigington's video. You don't need to watch that little clip. Because usually when I see something in this news, it's not copyrighted. You can take it and you can put it out there. And I do that. But I stopped on that one because I read, and his point was, Dane Wigington, when people ask you to do something and those people are doing phenomenal things, listen to those people. He said, I need people to watch the video. Don't cut any portion of this. Please send them to the original video. And if you watch that video, you'll know why. So yeah, the original link disappeared, but I put his full link down there. Watch the whole thing. And he'll go through, oh my goodness gracious. Because there was a lot of great content in there. He talked about Baron Harkonnen. For the sake of this conversation, Baron Harkonnen is anybody who believes in fake science, that's pretending to science, that bought the science, like Mr. Bill Fence, Mr. Bill Not Fence. He is Baron Harkonnen. He took over the Indian, something having to do with the Harkonnen shots, and made sure that every child by the age of, 5? Let me go down my time. This is what I'm gonna have to do, because I don't remember all of it. And I'm gonna misspeak and say something wrong. By the age of 5, all the kids have to have a certain amount of Harkonnen shots from Harkonnen science, and something like 400,000 children in India were paralyzed from it, because that's what you get when you're dealing with Harkonnens. And then the accusations came out, well, it wasn't just India. This was for, what were they trying to not cure? What would Harkonnen, somebody posed, what were they trying to not cure? They were just trying to make a profit-based system, outsourcing a biological function to corporations. Somebody had posted. And then the Philippines made the same accusation, in like 4 or 5 other countries, and another country in Africa said the same thing. When you believe in Harkonnen science, you will have Harkonnen diseases. Let me go down, because they posted the links. This is how I'm gonna have to do it, because there's just so much that we probably should go through. Okay, this is what he said. He said that there will be a surprise outbreak during the Trump administration, 2017. That's what Fauci, whatever you want to call him, but make sure you spell his name right. That's what he said. This is why you shouldn't believe your TV, right? You need to listen to conspiracy theorists. You know why? Because conspiracy theorists, they say things that come true, and you just don't want to believe them because they don't fit your narrative. Like how we said they're going to take the guns. Y'all remember that? Like, they're going to take the guns. Stop it. You're a crazy survivalist. This is not going to be a gun grab. Literally, the bill hit the House this weekend. What is that? Somebody post a link. HR 7517, whatever the Harkonnen number is that they got for that bill, it's a gun grab. That's the gun grab. That's a federal gun grab bill. That means that everybody who owns a gun is illegal now. You can't have a police state with armed population. You're not allowed to do that. Y'all can't have guns. The crazy conspiracy theorists weren't wrong. They were right. They're always right. They're always right. Why? Because you live on the planet. Living is a conspiracy. And if you're not theorizing what the hell is going on, you're going to die. So it's HR something, something, something. And they say, yeah, but Trump is going to stop that. Oh, is he? Is he now? Trump ain't going to do the gun grab. Oh, yeah, they told you Obama was going to do it because they lying. Somebody else has to do it. Presidents don't make their own decisions, people. They do not make that. Is not how the world works. Thank you, Sister Trish. They don't make up that. It is literally a job. The only thing they can do is talk through the cracks. That's all they can do. No, they cannot stop pedophilia. It's not going to happen. Which leads me to Q, which is a great thing. I was watching a video, and apparently there's some Q people waking up, waking the hell up. There's a Q guy who sent me this. There's a Q guy who's saying, y'all, they just released the free energy patent. They just released the TR3B, and they just released this new technology. We can have free oil. We can have, you don't have to pay for gas no more, and something about free electricity. Yes, let's do this. Don't worry about the pedophilia stuff. And I was just like, well, thank you for doing that. And he's like a dissenter within the Q populace. Mags, did you send me that? Somebody sent me that. Few things. No, the TR3B patent, we've talked about a lot on here. That was released on Google Patents over 10 years ago. We knew they had free energy. We knew that people didn't have to go to work. We knew that you didn't have to buy gas. We knew that you didn't have to buy electricity. You literally don't have to work right now. You don't have to work at all. And that's not new. That has nothing to do with Q, Trump, Democrats, Republicans, America, nothing. Okay, that was released a long time ago. We didn't had that technology. They want a global slave population. And we are slaves. Like Kanye West said, slavery is a choice. We literally choose to be slaves now, and they chose to be slaves back then. It's always a choice. You got to decide today what you gonna do. I know that kind of sounds like church. Anybody go to church this week? You got to decide today. Come on down the aisle. Give your life over to freedom. Give your life today, and I believe in that. I thank my ancestors. They did what they had to do back then, so I could be free and make this choice now. So I'm not shaming them. I'm just saying I can't make their choice. I would have been dead in Africa. I would have been dead in Ireland, and I would have been dead in. I'd have been a dead Cherokee. I'd have been dead because I'm not that strong. I'm not that strong. I am belligerent. I am a barbarian. I am not in your slave colonizer population. I do not believe in Harkonnen science, Harkonnen math, Harkonnen. And speaking of Harkonnen math, y'all should have stopped when you realized they were lying about the numbers. How many news stations now are telling you they don't know how many people are sick and they don't know how many people have died? Barely any of the test work. The doctors were lying about the counts of death. Okay, the W.H.O said it. And people are still, listen, you know what my problem is? All right, you want to tell us your 95th problem? Yeah, it's my 97th problem. A vampire taught me math. That's the problem I have. The vampire taught me math. The vampire said, 1 vector victim, 1 sick victim, 1 flu, 2 flu victim, 3 flu. Y'all already know who the vampire I'm talking about? I got vampire math. He taught me. His name was the Count. He taught me how to count. All right, now once you realize that they lied about the numbers, you don't need to be scared no more. Don't need to be scared anymore. Oh, it's just a lot. What else happened this weekend? Yeah, but so anyway, on the Q people, I'm glad that though there are people in Q talking about free energy now. Now you just got to go the full level of the plantation, right? To say, yeah, this is good. We can still be slaves and have jobs and careers, but have free electricity and free gas. No, go all the way. Go all the way. You don't have to be a slave at all. Don't put it in capitalism flavor. And don't you come over here on the left and start there, socialism, communism. It's still a slave plantation. It's still the mind of a slave. Y'all still got that stuff my ancestor had that I don't have. I don't have that strength to say, yeah, I'm gonna go to work just with free electricity and free gas. They literally have robots to do every single one of your jobs. All of them. And they got the software to do it too. So go to full distance. You know, capitalism is it's loving the plantation and slavery, where you have a job and you work and they just give you some credits, some chips, and you kind of show up to work on Monday for the new slavery. But socialism is different. No, it's still slavery. It just means that they're not giving you chips. They give everybody different jobs and they give you allocations, but you still got a lord. You still got a master that's above them that's allocating things out to you, but you still got to go to work. You still got to go to that rubber plantation. You still got to go to the cotton plant. And we got to get past slavery because Kanye West said it. Slavery's a choice. Slavery's a choice. And he was right as the day is long. Somebody said he's crazy. Hell yeah, he's crazy as hell too. He crazy as hell too. And he didn't lie about that. That brother's honest when he lied. Once again, I trust people when they say things that are truthful, but it doesn't mean they're my hero. I have no interest in heroes and villains. That's stupid. I'm over 28. I'm 29 years old, and I ain't got no time for hero and villain nonsense. He was right on that, but he told you that he has some issues mentally. He's taking medication and other stuff, and that's why he's out there voting. All right? But that was true. That was true. All right. Let me see. Surprise. There you go. Lori said it right there. He said it was a surprise pandemic. So there you go. Just keep piling up the evidence. Make your excuses, because that's what they're going to do now. Well, when Fauci said that, he meant it was going to be a surprise birthday party, and it was going to be epidemic. So stop it. It just added up. See, what you want to be able to say is the world is not how you thought it was. You invested your identity in a fake world, and you're not old enough, you're not grown enough to say, you know what, I was wrong. I was wrong. I invested my job, my career, my degree work. I got my mask. I got it, so hoarded it, so the old people can't have no damn mask in the nursing home, and I wear it proudly. I watched a guy, he put on plastic to go in the damn store, in the Wegmans, grocery store, and it came out and threw the gloves away. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you people? Do you realize that's Harkonnen science? Once again, that's Harkonnen because it's plastic. It's plastic. That's big oil, Total Oil, Rockefeller. There's always a house of families that run all of this, and they're literally getting you to make money with. So, all right, there's a whole bunch of stuff this weekend. I'm gonna try to do comments and go to the timeline both at the same time. But the evidence is finally piled up. You can stop being scared. Yes, Megs, right there. Follow the money. That's all you gotta say is follow the money. Follow the money, you always end up at a bank. You always end up at a bank, you always end up at one of the houses that own the human race. All right? And right now it's House Harkonnen. They believe in fake science and they bought the science. Wow, 29, our soul, young body. Yeah, I know. Isn't that awesome, Melissa? I know. Right, yeah. Hey, last one of them years. I inquired all of this. All right. Stop it. Stop lying. Don't be lying, Lori. Nuh-uh, stop that. Don't put that nocebo on me. Making up your son. No, don't put that on me. It's like, you in the medical industry. Don't put that on me. I'm 29, baby. 29. What is this? Oh, yeah, this is back when I was picking a fight. I was trying to get people to fight with me, but I'm going to go off of Facebook in a minute anyway. Now people say you're contrary. Somebody told me I was contrary this weekend. Say, you're contrary. You're always contrary to everything I say. You always say the opposite. Well, it depends where you get what you say from. Where you get it from? Did you get it from the billionaire's Harkonnen television set? Then yeah, that's a requirement. But besides, it's not even about that. It's not even about trusting your master. It's not even about that. I'm on your plantation, but I'm a barbarian. I'm on your plantation, and it's my job to question everything. So it's not even about it comes from your barbarian people who can't count because they ain't had a vampire as a count. It's always lying to you, trying to sell you some poison to take over the functions of the human body because they're sick, trying to make you a cyborg and you're stupid. I just defy everything. I don't care who it is. Everybody on here, who's that? Justin, Cheryl, Sandy, Trish, Susan, Lori. I love them all to death. I defy everything that come out their mouth. The minute it comes out their mouth, I'm like, You don't know who a demon is. Demons, they don't come as looking like demons. They don't have bifurcated tails and horns and red, got fire and lava everywhere. They come for me, they come as fine women. They do. They come as fine women, nice dresses, they smell good and everything. Sometimes they come as nice dressed men, real smart and everything, intelligent. Oh no, I'm always looking for a demon. And demons can jump from people to people. Don't trust nothing. Don't believe nothing till it's believable. Right. Yes, Fauci is totally dirty, Susan. He is a dirtbag. He is filthy and foul. He is a Harkonnen baron who floats around, got boils all over his body. He wants you to have some too. I just don't believe in your science. And now you can't even put the 5 in the letter on the thing anymore. So now you got to say it that way. It's a criminal right now. You got people that that was in the news. Did y'all see that? They're lighting the things on fire now. They shooting them and all kind of stuff. And it's like, it's criminal activity. They're shooting the towers. Where was that? UK? They acting nuts. They acting crazy and fool. Them people ain't stupid. They know what they're doing. No, it was a crime when you turned it on. It was not a crime to turn it off. It's a crime when you're hurting people. It was not a crime when you're not hurting people. A tower that's turned off does not hurt anybody. And I am not telling people to do this. Don't even get me in that space. You're telling people. No, I'm telling you, live your life. You be your own barbarian. That's why they got that HR 5717. So you can't reach the top of it. They want you to climb up there. That's why. They're from a distance. You got some pretty good. I got some friends that can do some good aiming. No, they don't want that. No, they need you to climb up there so you get all that cancer in your brain and everything on the 4G tower. This is not a discussion about 5G. Grow the hell up. You need to be smart enough to understand what is happening in your world. When I hear predictions that come true, I look at the company, if the predictor first and foremost. Okay, all right, Conan. Well, see, okay, what you trying to say, Conan? Which I think I agree with, which is that, you listen to stuff and just be like, yeah, okay, all right. Bigfoot's real, okay, all right. Then wait for the evidence. I don't believe it till I see, but when it starts coming true, then I start paying attention. Conspiracy theorists is like 100 to 0. They're nailing all of them. They're getting it all right. So far, they're taking the guns, you're locked in your house, slavery was a choice. Looks like UFOs are real, aliens are real. Yes, they've had free energy. They had 1,000 patents that related to free energy they kept from the population while they had you fighting climate change, fighting nature, fighting natural things that happen all over this planet. Sure, we make it worse. Nobody debates that, but it's literally blame it on nature so the Harkonnens can make some money. That's what it always is. So the conspiracy theories are nailing it. Blame it on nature so the Harkonnens can make some money. And then you trust their solution. You trust their cure. And that's a stupid idea. Stupid idea. And this is why I think they always use pandemics. I think they like to use pandemics because that's another way to blame it on nature. That's not why not. It's nature. Nature always trying to kill you, you know. It's like, no, you usually got houses that are trying to control the spice, right? Because it's always about the spice. What is the spice? Fear. Fear. Fear as a currency. How do you make the population scared enough to enjoy slavery, to be happy with slavery, so that when they get emancipated to proclamate, get locked in their houses, don't have to work, they beg to get things back to normal. Speaking of that, and they're protesting. That's another thing in the news. I don't know how this became about the news, but it is about the news at the moment in time. People are protesting now. Canada standing up. The Bundys are standing up. They're getting out there. They're saying that you ain't got no right to put them on lockdown. They're standing up. And another nation too. Canada. What the other nation was? Texas. Where the Bundys from? Texas. That's a nation. It's not a state. Nope, that's a country. All right. Make sure you understand your history. And there's another nation that's standing up. I don't know if it was sweet, but people are starting to protest. They're now starting to act like adults. Like, you don't have a right to tell me anything. I'm free. I'm a sovereign. You ain't got no right to tell me, which I do want to talk about that too. I agree with the protesting. I absolutely agree with that. I think people should stand up and tell, because they're going to push it as far as you let them push it. But the other side of this, we got to talk about. You got to talk about the other side. This is going to be so hard to do, because I like to try to talk about things in a way that most people can process, and it's so hard to do that if you have not been paying attention. If you've been watching the news most of your lifetime, the things that we say here are going to sound alien to you. But what's happening is we got to decide if we want to be free. I made a post this weekend and it started a good discussion, and it had me thinking. See if I can go down and find it. Like, what is really going on? Like, you follow that dude on YouTube, kind of explaining about the world's currencies doing what they're doing, right? We know at the highest levels they're fighting over control of things. They're fighting over control of currencies. We know somebody's pulling out. It's year 150. It's not a coincidence that central banking is failing at year 150. There's some numerology to that. I'm not even going to pretend that I understand it. Options. Sovereignty. This is why when you say you're a sovereign citizen, they will do anything to put you under the prison. When you say you're an American citizen, you're done being a commodity for the United States corporation through those birth certificates. They treat you like you're a criminal, right? That's terrorist number one. The United States, right? You are a sovereign citizen. You are terrorist number one because you are defying the United States Incorporated. Once again, 1871, your government was turned into a corporation, all right? And you had 1913, 1933, the Federal Reserve. We can go through all of that. This currency lasted 150 years. Now it's time that they're going through some sort of a reboot. We have to get away from global central banking. We have to get away from it. And there's no way to get away from it without it hurting, right? There's no way to get away from it without it hurting. I'm gonna take you down to the post that kind of started this discussion. Getting away from a global currency is trying to get away from being a commodity in the nation, right? Because when you do that, it means that you're no longer attached to the world's global banking, right? If we were to step away from the global banking system, it means, because everybody else is still on it, it would mean the price of everything would go through the roof. The price of anything we import would go through the roof. If the Rockefellers or Rothschilds or whoever control the central banking now that are walking away, that have printed all that money, or that are doing the final loot run, what the banker showed us, where they're basically cashing out. And of course, somebody's going to cash back in. Another banker, another family, you know, control things. If we let them do that, we've gone nowhere. All of this was for nothing, right? They'll take your bank account, they'll look at it. You'll have a new currency conversion, right? Here's a new currency. You know, you had $100,000 in the bank. You know, the conversion rate 60%. Here's your $60,000 in the new currency, digital dollar or whatever it is. They're going to rob you either way. Right? Hard times are ahead no matter what happens. If a new banker takes over central banking in America, the United States corporation, or if the federal government does, if like the real American federal government, the republic, if they bring that back and they take over printing of the money, then it means that we're isolated still from the world, and that's gonna hurt. But why do we want any of that, right? Like, because my Trump friends are like, yeah, it's a good thing Trump is taking over the Federal Reserve, but if we know slavery is bad and banking and money is about giving people debt at birth, then it means that they're slaves their entire life. Money has to go. And there's no easy way, I think, to do that. I think only one nation can start that, though. Day one, when you step away and you say you're a sovereign nation and you actually have a government, because we don't have a government. You have a government at the state level, but above that is controlled by the United States corporation that bribes them into not doing anything for you. If we step away and we restore the republic, it means we're isolated, we're on our own. We got to make our own food, grow this, build this, mine our own resources, because we'll be separated from the global families that own all the rest of the nations. But the only nation that can do that is a nation with a massive military. And this is where I think that we got to take it on the chin. I think that, is this it right here? Hang on, this might be it right here. We have to take it on the chin. Any nation that steps away from the global banking system is going to get invaded, right? There's no question about that, right? Everyone who's tried it, we've destroyed. Who was the one who tried it? These people give you examples. Gaddafi was one of them, right? He was going to put Africa on a world reserve currency. He tried to step away. And of course, the families that run and own everything, the Harkonnens, they got their dumb thug America through the Pentagon to go kill Gaddafi and stop Africa from having their own little setup, right? Who else? The axis of evil. All of those nations, if you did your homework, you know all of those nations were moving away from central banking or never were on central banking. That's right. The troika of tyranny. It was not a troika of tyranny. They were nations that did not have central Rothschild banking, right? So if America steps away, they're going to send everybody after us. They're going to send everybody after. One, the world hates us. Okay? We have not been deploying democracy nor freedom. We've been murdering people and stealing what they have. The world's people hate us. This is where we got to take it on the chin. But we have a military that would really, they think twice about invading. They think twice about, I mean, even the global families, they think twice about it. I don't think they would just do it. America could free the world, but Americans have to educate themselves. They have to grow up and they have to get away from slavery as being a good choice and free the world. America could become a sovereign government. And it's weird to hear me talk about this. Once again, I'm an anarchist. I don't believe in owners anymore. But we do have to probably take baby steps in freeing the world. America can step away, and America has the military to do that. And in that moment of pause and questioning whether or not the whole world could take on America after being given orders by these Harkonnen families, the houses that run everything, other nations, I think, would see through that as well. I think America could break free. And I think after that, Britain might break free. I think Australia would realize they can break free. We got to get free of a global control system. Nothing controls anything at the global level. Anytime you have people who have power, you're always going to have slaves. But I think that that's what we have to do. I think on the other side of this, while everybody's battling over market share and the power vacuum and all this going on, we have to decide if we want to keep slavery as a choice. What was this right here? Nations that required. Oh yeah, and this is the whole thing. Like anybody who still believes in, we're doing this to protect old people. I used to march with old people. I used to protest with old people. Old people literally had to get together and force their government to give them rights to see their grandchildren. Like, to just become partially human, they literally had to fight and organize just to get human rights. No government that forces old folks to get together, form organizations to fight for their rights would ever shut down a nation to protect them. They don't give two dams about it. Yeah, that was me just being mad this week about the Harkonnens. I'm trying to get down to the whole central banking world control thread. We are the new Atlantis. Well, and we should be, Melissa. We should be, and we can be, right? If you think that she's saying something that's not true, Atlantis, did y'all see this? Atlantis is not true. It's not real. Yeah, it was true. It was all real. Now, of course, the flying ships, that's another question. But Atlantis was a real place. Yeah, me wanting the stimulus check like, anything come for me? Yeah, I remember slavery's a choice. Abuse is a choice. She chose to stay, and one day she decided to not stay. Right? That's a good example on the abuse side. One day she decided with, what's her name? Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi, before y'all broke her and got her off of crack cocaine, gave her a good job in slavery. All right, let me go down. There's a whole bunch of posts this weekend. Before y'all broke her, she knew abuse was a choice. And when she decided no longer to be abused, she picked that knife up. That was the end of it. Did y'all see this? Oh, yeah, social distancing being enforced by police drones. Yep, because they got the drone that can see heat maps. And if you're a technology person, you know what I'm saying. They have drones that literally can see how hot you are. They can check your body temperature from the air. Old technology. And all they have to do is, this is the police state, right? This is a technocracy. This is the Harkonnen way. This is using technology to replace humanity, not just their bodily functions, but them also, right? And that will happen in the future. And so all the things that we're supposed to be fearing, we're cheering, because you hate the right hates you, you on the left, or you on the right, the left, something like that, paradigm, slavery paradigm. But you're still on the plantation. You're fighting to be owned. You're fighting for your children to be owned. And if anybody has any questions about whether or not they're going to take the gun, they're going to take the guns. All right? They are going to take the guns. HR 717, they're not going to take my guns. Yes, they're going to take your gun. They're going to take your gun too. Just Donald Trump is going to walk right in and take your gun. So would Obama if he were told to. But when H1N1 happened, Obama, whatever, he wasn't told to, because things weren't ready to roll. They weren't ready to roll yet. They didn't have the ability to flip the world's currencies at that point in time. But he's going to take the gun. He's not going to take my gun. Oh, yeah, they're going to take the gun. They're going to pry it from your cold, dead hand. They are. You don't play. Do not play with the American government. It's not the American government. It's literally the United States Incorporation. They don't think that they're governing you. They're controlling you. They will shoot you and everybody in your house and take your gun. They're going to get your gun. Right? Our only defense is together. That's it. Our only defense is togetherness. We got to stop. Y'all got to stop with the divide up. Anybody who divides up and think they're going to take on the United States Incorporation, taking orders from central banks and families and things that we barely even know anything about, they're going to take your gun. They can't get us all. They're going to get every last one of you. Okay? But I agree with you from a philosophical perspective, right? You're not a slave. And I agree with that stance, and that's a good stance. You have to have the limits of where you're going to go, but very soon you're going to have them drones right there over you, looking at you to see how hot you are. That's it. And if you hot, that loudspeaker will go off and tell you where you need to proceed to, off to your FEMA camp. Oh yeah, and this was fun. What percentage of your family believes the news? That was fun. If you read some of the comments on that thread, that was almost as fun as the thread we did with the list your paranormal activity. Like, list something that happened that was paranormal. And everybody started talking about ghosts and crazy stuff and all kind of fun stuff. The world isn't what it seems. But anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to get to my dump. I'm gonna read the comments and we'll go back and talk about things that I forgot about that you mentioned a few minutes ago that I'm just not connecting the dots no more. No, I'm not a pro at this, Daniel. I'm not a pro. I'm not a slave. That's all. I'm just not a slave, and I don't believe anything anybody tells me. I just sit back and watch. Brother Walter was correct when he said, well, I don't know if SHIVA's a CIA, but from that perspective, the Central Intelligence Agency, but from the perspective of I'm not a slave and I don't trust what anybody says, he's CIA. He's not my hero. None of these people are, right? And I think that's the mindset that a free person lives in. They don't trust anybody till it's proven. Why would you do what's the point in doing that? How's government going to find your guns? Well, Rebecca, how does the government find nuclear weapons? How do they do the radiation scans, right? The police literally have, what is the name of that scanner they have now? Stinger? The one where some of the police drive around and they can tell where you are in your house. You know, a gun is a thing that has a very high density, most of them. And if you think that they can see who's in your house, where they are, where they're standing, they literally can see through your walls with reversing the Wi-Fi technology. And now everybody's getting the 5G new routers and they're putting the 5G towers up. There's definitely a chance that they can use that wave distancing in 5G, which is every 2 inches, to determine the density and what might be a gun. Now, I'm not saying you can't hide a gun. You can, but the point is, they may not get the gun to get you. They may not get the gun for some of them. They might just get you. But we don't even know the level of technology they have. And that's why I'm always about, listen, we need to walk away. There's no violent answer to world peace. We just have to walk away. You can't fight these people. You can't fight somebody and you don't even know the type of weapons that they have. They have technologies that will boggle our mind. DARPA scientists have told us that. You know, and this is why I'm always getting on John Sean about that. You can't fight. If you don't know who your enemy is, you can't fight it. If you don't know what weaponry you have, you don't even know what weapons to bring. You are always going to be bringing a knife fight to a knife to a gunfight. Why? Because they control everything. They own, they know, they won't even let you buy something that would let you oppose them. You will always be bringing a paperclip to a gunfight. Every time they control everything. And that's how power stays in power. You don't know who your enemy has, and you don't even know how to fight them. You know, not toe to toe on their level. The only way you can fight them is just to walk away. And that's what I'm saying. I always go back to that principle. Our enemy is the system. Your enemy isn't white people. Your enemy isn't black people. Your enemy isn't Christians or Muslims. Your enemy is not China, never has been, never will be. Your enemy is not Russia. Your enemy is yourself. Your enemy is your own ignorance. Your enemy is not understanding what a system is. A system needs your belief. A plantation only works if we all go out and pick cotton. What happens when we decide we don't want to pick cotton? What happens when we decide we don't want the money? What happens when we decide we don't want that $1,200 tax credit payoff when they gave the real money, our money, to all their criminal friends on Wall Street to hold up certain corporations? What happens when we just walk away? That's the only way you can fight an enemy you can't see. The only way you beat a ghost, who said it? Alan Watts? The only way that you can fight a ghost is you walk through it. You don't believe in it. You see a ghost, you walk through it. But if you give it your fear currency, then it's going to control you. Hey, who said that? Starve the system, Megs. That's all you can do. That's all we can see. They know that we need them. They need the money. They need our fear and they need our control. Walk away from the fear, walk away from the money, walk away from the bank, walk away from the control. But I got millions of dollars in the bank. What I'm supposed to do? Take your money, which is useless. It's paper. It literally is human slavery. It is a representation of human labor, and do something good with it. Satan meant it for good, but God meant it for evil. Use your money for good. Take your money out, buy some food. There are people who are starving to death right now in your country if you're on lockdown. And your government doesn't give two damns because they're not a government. They are rulers. They are ruling you, and they expect those people to die. Buy canned food, give it away. Buy some rice, give it away. Buy garden tools before they stop selling them. Buy land if you can so you can grow food. Buy solar panels so people have power. Take your evil, which is money, and give it away. The love of money is not the root of all evil. Money is pure evil. Slavery, representing human labor, is pure evil at its core. Any system that requires it is a system modeled in evil. Everybody will love the money. That's why I told people I love money. They're like, what are you talking about? I don't love money. I'm the root of all evil. I love money. I don't lie to people. Why? Because I'm in the system. I have a bank account. I literally went to the store this weekend with some money and bought something. I took some slaves, I withdrew them from my account, and I bought some burgers, veggie burgers, and I bought some processed food. I bought a pie. I bought my deep leafy greens. I can buy that stuff because I'm not in Harkonnen world. I don't use Harkonnen science. I have herd immunity within my own body. I don't get flus and sicknesses, so I can eat pie, some cookies every now and then when I need to. But I love the things that the money buys. I am the root of the evil because I am in the system. The system was designed by dark energies, forces, demons, devils, whatever you believe in, archons, whatever floats your boat. It was built to require everybody to use evil money. And you love it because everybody you love needs it too. We all love money. We have to make the system that requires we all be little demons go away. And so the solution is on the other side of it. I mean, one, accept the reality of the present darkness that we face. Be a grown-up, be an adult, stop being scared of no damn cuckoo flu. Take your mask. If you're a mask hoarder, accept the shame that Gerard has given to you. And take your extra mask and find some old people in your neighborhood and give them to them. Some shut-ins, they got to go to the grocery store too. You were young and strong, you raced and beat them to the store because the Harkonnen news told you to go do that. You made a mistake, said, you know what, I messed up. I get it now, I messed up. I'm acting fearful and scared, and I realize the age group I'm in isn't even dying from this thing. Less than 4% are really having complications. The majority of people who get it don't even know they have it. This is now starting to fit the pattern of Zika. That was useless. And look out for people, right? We all get tricked, but just admit you got tricked. Just admit you got tricked, or don't, I don't care, and go give it to an old folks home. People who actually need it, who have immune system problems. You know somebody with cancer? Do you know someone who already has immune challenges, autoimmune diseases? Give them your stocks. I don't go anywhere with a mask. I've finally been guilted into some common damn sense away from these Harkonnen lies in the news. I'm done with this Harkonnen news. I don't wear a mask nowhere. I don't wear gloves nowhere. And anybody who mentions it to me, I say, shame on you. Shame on you. There are old people in my neighborhood who need that mask. They're literally knitting. And you know grandmama can't knit because she got that Alzheimer's. And she got the Alzheimer's and what's the stuff in y'all? Her fingers don't even move anymore. Arthritis, she can't knit. She's trying to knit a mask because you done took them all out to grow. Shame on you and your Harkonnen news. You're all going to hell. Unless you repent and give old people your stocks and supplies and all your hoarding crap. I'm done with it. I'm not social distancing from nobody. You can social distance from me. You know, if your grandmama, no, I don't walk close to old people at flu season ever. Like I've mentioned before, because I know me and I know my body. I don't have Harkonnen herd immunity. I have real herd immunity. I don't get sick. My body is full of all the trillions of viruses and bacteria and microbiology and all the things that defend me from whatever these little flu things that come around every year. Every year, flu season, I avoid old people. I'm in a grocery store, I always walk around them. And I only do it in the last 5 years. Before 5 years, I didn't. I'm sure I walked past old people all the time and got them sick. I didn't understand. You know, but when you have somebody with a chronic illness in your family and you learn how that works, then you realize when my father got sick and he was about to die, I didn't go see him as much as I wanted to. And I couldn't. Because I knew me being around him would expose him to other things. All the viruses that I get all year long, my body fights off and holds back at bay. Oh, we were talking about viruses this weekend. That was another good one. What did I learn this weekend? I'm learning all kind of stuff. These people teach me all kind of stuff. It's fantastic what you learn. But what I'm saying is if you're a hippie, if you're a natural person, you got an organic system that works, you're going to be a carrier and you're going to get other people sick. So when flu season comes around, you need to build up the herd's immunity. You need to go out in public. And I'm not saying go lick the doorknob to anything. Don't be stupid. Right? We don't know what viruses are, but the virologists are getting close. They don't know and understand it yet, but they're getting close. You know, when you're exposed to small bits of it, yeah, your body learns how to fight it off. Not 5 billion because you go to Home Depot and rub your hand on the door and wipe your face. Some of what they said, the Harkonnen say, is not a lie, but the vast majority is a lie. What did I learn this weekend on viruses? Somebody taught me something. But yeah, I'm gonna get away from this post. My family crazy. I posted that I was feeling alone this weekend. This is what that post was about. I was feeling alone. Cause I'm sitting there reading my family's text. I hope they ain't watching right now. Cause they're like, you went on this morning on this video and he was talking about us. I'm like reading these text messages about, oh, I'm scared. Oh, I'm fearful. Oh, I don't know what to do. Oh, what we gonna do? Oh, we all gonna die. I'm like reading my family's text messages. And I don't respond anymore. I just don't respond. I just let them have their fantasy. I just, you know what? Y'all have your Harkonnen movie. Y'all have Dune. Just go ahead and relive Dune. I don't know what, I've already told them, stop buying into your owner's nonsense. And so I posted this weekend, because I think around 96% of my family believes in television. About 96% of them. I felt so good on this post because people started replying, oh, my family, my whole family, gaslit, crazy, stupid, blah, 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 blah. And it made me feel good because it's not just my family that needs to look at it, right? The sister talking about 99%. Oh, it's not just me. I felt good. That's why I believe my brothers now. They used to tell me that they found me in a dumpster. I think they're right. Like, yeah, you're probably right. They did. Mommy and daddy found me in a dumpster because I don't know how y'all's brains work. Yeah, I was kind of in the mood this weekend. I was picking a fight. Yeah, let me get away. I'm trying to get down to the vibe. I learned something about, yeah, I Am Legend. I Am Legend is so real. Oh, it's real, y'all. I Am Legend. Yeah, I posted this right here because this is what I was looking for, a fight. I was waiting for somebody to bite. Nobody bit. Nobody bit. I think people now understand what he was saying. But anyway, I Am Legend, right? So what is there? Lord. I don't want to say that because I always mess it up. 15 types of viruses they figured out, and some of them are beneficial. Did you know that? Blew my mind. Boo! That's why I don't have a life. I watch lectures all weekend. The different viruses. There are viruses that literally target cancer, and they're trying to use them to fight cancer. Why? Because whatever this virus thing is, some people debate, is it alive, is it dead? Remember, I'm not in that discussion. Y'all can figure that out for yourselves. I really don't care. I don't think the human beings know what live and dead is. I don't think we even know what alive is, so I really don't care. And water has emotions and memory, and that ruined that whole discussion for me. Because viruses, compounds, dead or alive, they got water too. Virus is just trying to live within you, right? It's like a Harkonnen. It's like a Democrat, a Republican, a DNC, a British government, an Australian government. They want to exist. They don't want to kill you. They want to control you. They want to exist with you, but they want to have more power and energy over you. So this virus thing is just trying to replicate. It's not trying to kill you, but it will kill you if it's not. And it sees cancer as a problem. I can't live here if cancer's here. Cancer has to die so I can live within this host. So it's not trying to kill, but there are viruses that target target cancer. Oh, that's what I was looking for. Somebody told me that viruses are a cleansing. Flu season, right? Happens every year, and our bodies release whatever. And I was looking for that, and I ran into that. And this was from some hospital. They were just talking. A virologist was talking, and so we're supposed to catch viruses. Viruses are organic. Flus are natural. This one was not. They're natural. This one, well, no, hang on, maybe it is, because the Harkonnens made it as a bioweapon. It's on the planet now. Our bodies got to learn how to fight it. So this one is. And this came out. Let me show you the news. I got to show you this. No, well, you know what? I don't know if I want to show you. Everyone, you got that now, right? You understand, you accept that they're saying that the United States gave that $38 million for the studies they did with viruses and bats, and it went to Wuhan. Okay, you connect the dots. I don't really have to say any more on that. All right, but this is just the real world. Let me try to do some comments and see if anything else comes to mind. But that's what I learned from viruses this week. And so they are some sort of a cleansing. We do need to develop herd immunity, but not everybody. There are a lot of very sick people who believed in the Harkonnen world, that ate their Twinkies and their donuts and their bagels and get stressed out and go to work and work 40 hours a week, which is slavery. They got careers. They're stressed out. They're creating all the worst viruses on the planet, learning how to, while they're trying to figure out how to survive in your body, they're learning how to become very, very dangerous. So those people should not help with herd immunity from a herd perspective. But the people who got internal herd immunity, that do not believe in the Harkonnens, that aren't using antibacterials to destroy all the biology in you that you need within you because it's your defense system. I haven't bought an antibacterial anything in over 10 years. not the soap, not the Purell, the only toxic cleanser I have in my house is for the bathroom. Short of that, there are no toxins allowed in my house. I'm a biological creature. I live in a biological house. Why would I want toxins all over my house, in my refrigerator, my cabinets, or even in the bathroom? And plus, I shouldn't even do that. Because the biological creature, the biological cleaners, the natural cleaners were proven to do a better job than the chemical. I just don't clean my bathroom all that often. And so the chemical's still there, and the damn thing been there for, I think it's bleach. And it's been there for a long time. You know, I'm a clean person for the most part, clean from a perspective of a natural hippie person, not a Harkonnen. I don't believe in Harkonnen science. Y'all get what I'm saying when I say Harkonnen? All right. So that's that. Dr. Butar. You can find the info. Oh, y'all talking about I love Dr. Butar, Christine. Who blew my mind this morning? It was Dr. Shiva. Dr. Shiva blew my mind. It's just always so many good ones. And I'm sure Dr. Butar is CIA too. Where Walter at? I'm sure he's CIA too, which is fine. I don't trust nothing he says, but what he says makes a whole lot of sense. Dr. Shiva blew it up this morning. Did I post it on my thread? And this was in the news, so I can show this one if I want to, if y'all want to watch it. Did I post it or they deleted it? No, it's on there. It's right there. They go right there. Here, hey, watch this. Here it go. Dr. Shiva on some show. What is this? Oh, I got to click on it, let it go to YouTube. All right. What I love about Dr. Shiva is not that he wants to be in the Senate. Once again, I don't give two damns about that. 98% of my family is gaslit, lost crew. But this was a great talk that he did. It was a great thingy. Well, it's 16 minutes long, so I don't want to show you the whole thing. Let me see if I can show you this right here. It's 16 minutes long, so I want to show you. There were some bits that he talked in here. If you want me to play it, I'll play it. If not, I'll post a link. You can watch it later. I'm trying to shorten these broadcasts down to 7 hours. It was possible, because there's always so much to cover. But in this, he talked about what is the name of Dr. Shiva's system? Let me make it smaller if y'all want to watch it. What is the name of Dr. Shiva's system? It's something about local biology. It's anti-Harkonnen. It's like establishing health within your own body. The difference between medicine, modern medicine, which is based in triage and war. What's the name of it? I'd have to go to the end to hear him say it, but he was kind of explaining the difference in his medicine. Personalized medicine, I think it is. Is that it? Personalized medicine, where medicine practice should be personal, not carte blanche, right? What works for Jimmy or doesn't work for Christine, what works for Christine may not work for Robert, works for Susan, may not work for anybody else. If you actually treat your body as the unique individual thing that it is, you can have unique health. A real healthcare system doesn't group you into a pen and treat you like everybody else. If you do that, then you will lose 400,000 children to paralysis, giving them all the same treatment in India, because you follow an ignorant man that's doing videos all over the world, who is literally the Baron Harkonnen, who's killing people and destroying the lives of children because they try to group everybody in one box. That was a phenomenal interview. All right, y'all want to play? We'll play it. I ain't got nowhere to be. Slavery's over for the moment. Well, that's not true. I got somewhere to be, but if y'all want to play, okay, we'll play. I'm trying to let y'all, y'all drive this. I'm doing the best I can to write software in the background to try to create more of an interactive thing. We're going to get there in a minute. I have some ideas. But anyway.
We'll bring in a man who has multiple degrees from MIT, including a PhD in biological engineering. He is also running for Senate in 2020. Welcome, Dr. Shiva. So nice to have you on the show today.
Great to be here, Christina. Hope you're well.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've all been held as a captive audience, right? Watching President Donald Trump handle the coronavirus outbreak, the situation. He has received both praise and criticism. What do you think? How has the president handled the outbreak?
Well, he's had...
I stop it because I have to stop in between. This is why I don't watch the news, because I can't choke nobody. First of all, it's a stage question. She asked, do you like Donald Trump or not like Donald Trump? I already don't care really about his answer. Once again, I Respect him as a doctor and what he knows, not in stage questions. Presidents literally have no power. They barely choose the color of the jello they can have on Wednesdays. Billionaires run the world. Powerful families, Harkonnens, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, they run everything. They own the governments, which are not governments, they're for-profit companies. Okay, presidents have no say. Donald Trump had no choice in how this went down. The most he can do, which is what the Q people are right about, is talk between the cracks. The most Obama could do, which is what the Obama people say, he can talk through the cracks. He can, if you read between the lines, you'll find out what's going on. But they can't go on the billionaires' television, on the billionaires' media, working within the United States Incorporated Corporation, working for the billionaires as an employee, and say anything against what they're told to say or told to do. I think they're given like little leeway here and there, but nothing significant. It's not even worth the question, but that's how she posed the question. This is things that you will know if you actually read the laws instead of believing the Harkonnen news. All right, so he's going to answer the question. Don't be as gaslit and stupid to jump on the side of it. They're all just actors like Susan said.
Handled, as the best he could, given the fact that he's surrounded by sharks and people who are not really advising him well on the science side of it. What I'm talking about is...
I'm glad he said that. I didn't know he was going to say it because I didn't watch the whole thing. He's right about that. There was a great quote. Said you take somebody, you put them in the White House, and you surround them by 100 of some of the most powerful people in the world who work for people in the world who never say, who you can't say no to. All right? Presidents are given very little leeway. I like his answer. But I think even in that sense, he's talking through the cracks and he's explaining that to you. You're surrounded by people who tell you what to do.
Is Fauci. And that's what's unfortunate because, the president went through the Russian collusion nonsense that he had to go through, then he had to go through the impeachment thing, and now he's having to deal with this coronavirus. And unfortunately, this guy Fauci has been in this environment for nearly 4 decades across multiple presidents, and he's essentially embedded into the scientific establishment, which has created an unfortunate lie about the immune system and an unfortunate lie about the solution to something like this called a coronavirus, or more importantly, infectious disease, without any real emphasis, which is a real issue, about the fact that it is a overactive, dysfunctional, weakened immune system that overreacts, and that's what causes damage to the body. And
did you get that? He basically said what the hippies, the crazy conspiracy theory hippies, have been saying for a long time. All the modern medical diseases, most of them, including the flus, are side effects of malnutrition and poisoning of your environment. You literally have a weakened immune system and your body has trouble doing the natural things that it's done for millions of years. That's what he just said. He said that you need to stop going to the grocery store and buying Cinnabons and frozen pizza when you're scared of the flu.
Unfortunately, Fauci has not talked about that because the truth of that leads to a solution which has nothing to do with mandating vaccines and shutting down the country. And that's what's unfortunate.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said solution. I'm going to get back to...
Unfortunate for us. Very fortunate for our Harkonnens, right? If you can get people to continue to have wage war on their body, you can keep a medical system that's based in triage, right? Because they have chronic illnesses. They have diseases that should have gone away a long time ago or they never should have got. They give it to their kids because they teach kids to eat all this sugar, to eat GMOs and pesticides and all of this crap. This is what Harkonnens do. This is why they float around. They get them injections and they suck the fat out the boil with the toxins, right? You literally build a toxic world. You get people to cheer that. You get government to do it. Trauma, thank you. That's the best word, Jasmine. You basically, you make trauma popularized in every way possible. From the 5G to the food, to the water, to the air, to where they live, the cars they drive, the oil they use. And once you make them sick and you make them wage war on their bodies through ignorance, you then can keep a medical system that doesn't solve anything. It doesn't have any answers for anything. There's no profit in healthy people. There's no profit in nutrition. The profit is in trauma. The profit is in taking people who are ignorant and just gaslit as the day is long and making them wage war on their own body watching television commercials. That's what he said. every modern disease is malnutrition.
That a little later in the discussion. But many people, you are talking about Dr. Fauci right now, many people are questioning both Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx when it comes to these models that continue to change and their motives, which you kind of touched on a little bit. What is your take on these doctors that are advising the president and why they're advising him the way that they are?
Money.
Look, if you look, Christina, at the typical MD, many of them go into wanting to become a doctor out of some noble service. But fundamentally, the medical school education is really a big pharma medical education where the doctor is really trained, if this, then this. And the then is typically a pharmaceutical drug or some harsh medical intervention.
He's talking about the standard care and practice model. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that's what it's called. It's given to them by the AMA, which means these are kids like police who just wanted to be heroes. These were kids who had a passion, who wanted to help people as a nurse or doctor. If they had a lot of money, they came from a privileged family, they became a doctor. If they didn't, they became a nurse. That literally is how our society breaks down. They had a passion, they went in the field, but the field is owned by Harkonnen pharmaceutical corporations, right? Designed by the Rockefellers, where you can't focus on prevention, you have to focus on trauma. That's what he just said. Your doctor can't help you on the record, not after you pay them. Your doctor can help you before you pay them, if they're one who pays attention. Off the record, these doctors will tell you what you can do, preventative, or what you should avoid. After you pay them, they're invoking their license. You are licensed to a Harkonnen medical industry, and they're required to say, you got A, your only solutions are B and C, which are for profit. All right, that's how that works. That's why I say free the doctors. The war is not against the doctors. The doctors have passion, like the police, like Homeland Security, like FBI, like all of it. The problem is the system, it's not the people. That's what he just said.
Now, if you look at someone like a Fauci and Birx, they're sort of at the top of their quote unquote game, which means they're highly embedded into the big pharma model of medical education and the big pharma model of what the solution is. And that solution is typically a direct line from this disease, find typically a virus or a bug, and then recommend a vaccine or some harsh chemical solution. And most of that has to do with profiting the very, very big pharma companies. And so if you look at someone like Fauci, he's a guy who architected the big lie that HIV is responsible for AIDS. And it's a much deeper discussion, but he built his entire career on that, not talking about the fact it's the suppression of the immune system. When people's immune system gets suppressed, you can react to all sorts of exogenous things coming in. So
I need to know about that. So I pause. If anybody's got a good link where, because I know Dr. Shiva talks about it, Dr. Shiva or anybody else talking about how HIV and AIDS were linked together because he made big money from it. Those are what his lords told him to. There are a lot of people who are living with that condition that need help. If anybody has a link, please post it here. Because I personally want to do some research on it. I have friends who confided in me and told me the things that they struggle with. And I would love to share with those people the real science, not the Harkonnen science, but the real science and what they can do, if in anything.
But this gentleman, and by the way, he prides himself on connections with Hollywood and Elton John and all this. And I think there's a group trying to make him the sexiest man alive on people. But you're talking about a guy who's embedded in...
See, and he will be. He will be if we won't grow up. He will be the sexiest man alive. Your choices will be, I don't know, Fauci, Bill Gates, or some other criminal. Who is People Magazine Person of the Year, right? Because people are watching what this man is saying. I have not heard 5 minutes of whatever comes from his mouth. I haven't even heard it. You know why? Because he doesn't look healthy. He looks sick to me. I'm healthy. I listen to my witches. I listen to conspiracy theorists. I listen to healthy conspiracy theory people on health who are healthy any day of the year. And I listen to a lecture for 40 minutes from one of them. But I won't listen to 4 minutes of that sick psychopathic Harkonnen. I won't. But people aren't questioning it. And that's why he will be the sexiest man alive if we don't stop this, if we don't derail this.
Into the deep state. And he's your typical example of the worst of the modern scientific establishment.
Okay, well, let's take a look at this right now. H1N1, the swine flu, right? Back then, there was a completely different reaction to it. Dr. Fauci was in the administration at that time. President Barack Obama, he had a completely different reaction.
Right, so again, here's trying to make you stupid. But this is the way the news has to be portrayed. The news is a for-profit organization. You know, I watch the counts here, and anytime I say something against the identity of a political party that people have, you can watch them drop because they don't want to hear it. People don't like the truth. Only grown-ups can tolerate the truth. Children need to hear the lies that they've been taught throughout their life, that it's okay to eat candy and candy's not going to give them cancer. The reality simply here, she does have to ask the question that way. But you got people who will jump and say, yeah, Obama did this and that was the right thing to do. And no. Obama was told what to do just as well. When you understand central banking and how your world actually works on treating you like a slave in a plantation called a nation, they just weren't ready to go. That's all it was. They weren't ready to go back then when H1N1 was released or came out or whatever it did. They've been waiting on something to happen on a global scale to reset the world's currencies to keep their power over the people. Until you let go of your little fantasies about Obama, Trump, May, Merkel, Putin, and all the rest of them, you will be a subject, a slave, a commodity to the houses that run the world. And right now it's the Harkonnens, turning you into a cyborg that is not healthy.
Fauci had different recommendations that he's having now. Even the media coverage has been completely different from the swine flu now to the coronavirus. Why? Why do you see such a change?
Well, look, if you take a systems approach forces you to integrate multiple pieces. There's a political piece here, there's a health piece here, and there's the economic piece here. In the case of Barack Obama, there wasn't a quote unquote overreaction, right? We didn't shut down the country. We had people, the media essentially protected. Here's a gentleman, Obama I'm talking about, who did not allow the big banks to fail when they should have failed. He used quantitative easing to essentially bail them out. And since 2008 and 9, this country's been essentially on a crack model.
Right, and this is where people will jump in and say, yeah, because Obama was smart, he bailed them out, whatever. Literally, that's what the parties just did again. They just did that again. The only difference is they didn't bail out the banks across the board. They gave you a tax credit, which was a lie, because they're going to take a lot of it back, IRS tax credit, and they took the real money, your money, and they gave it to specific corporations on Wall Street in specific industries. They did the same thing. They bailed out their friends. Why? Because on the other side of this, we've already passed the Great Depression point. On the other side of this, we are in the great of Great Depressions, and they want their friends to do well in it. So while all the other corporations are being collapsed because their employees can't go to work, their friends are going to dominate market share, right? And this is why I love how Dr. Shiva talks, because he talks from a system perspective. And that's how my mind works, right? Once again, incorporation, developer. I think of everything as a system. Look at the purpose of the system and you won't be confused by the identity. When you see the system is designed for profit, capitalism is always crony and slavery. Socialism is always crony and slavery, and so is communism if you have them within a banking system, because the banks own all the slaves. They print the money, they own it all. Take a systems approach and you can actually do something effective. If you take an identity approach to fight a system, once again, it's like the people who aren't watching HR 7177, we'll still take everybody a gun. You're going to be bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Of running the economy, where we print money, and that's what the country has gotten used to. And because of Obama, we decidedly destroyed our economic base by outsourcing a tremendous amount of manufacturing to China. We destroyed our innovation base by allowing China to steal. So when Trump comes into office, he's dealing essentially with a catastrophic.
Commercial. I don't want to hear it, but see, this kids' toys to train software and learning software how to kill you later. But this is what it does. This is it. I love systems approaches to everything, right? You look at it from a system. Everything had whatever makes profit is good. Right? This is the Ferengi. Y'all remember Star Trek? We are the Ferengi. We're the Harkonnens from Dune, and we're the Ferengi from Star Trek. You put the two together, anything that makes profit is good. If making fat people with boils that burst and you put injections in their face to suck it out, and they need to buy somebody's drugs, pills, and whatever, and take antipsychotics just to go to work in the morning, if that makes profit, then that's exactly what's going to happen. That's why it doesn't matter who the president is. But I thought it was a great example. I'm glad the drone came right in there and showed you the Black Mirror episode that we were in.
Knew that what was going on with the Fed and with quantitative easing was going to destroy the economy of this country. So at best, what he was trying to do was save the economy by bringing back manufacturing, by protecting the intellectual property drainage in this country. However, when you have the level of things that he had to go through, I think the deep state's really effect was to hit him with this coronavirus. And what's the end goal? Well, as you just rightfully said, when Obama was running, you had nearly, I think, 60,000 deaths, right, with H1N1. Here you have close to maybe 10,000 deaths. And we don't even know what the numerator and the denominator are here, because they're blanketly assigning COVID-19 to people who may not even have it. And we're seeing a concomitant, number of, there's drop in pneumonia. So where's those drops? The people are getting the flu or in the flu season.
Did you understand that, what he just said? This was the core reason why you have no reason to watch the news anymore. No one knows how many people died of this thing, but we know it's significantly lower than H1N1 or last year's flu season. That's what's known from what he just said right there. So the pneumonia and other chronic illnesses have taken a dive. Why did that happen? Well, because you know that they changed the coding because they needed to swell this into a crisis to make you think that the hospitals were filling up. So you got all this evidence that piles up, and it explains to you that reality is completely not on television. So cancer is being solved all of a sudden because they have to list COVID as a death reason. Pneumonia is being solved all of a sudden because they have to list it as COVID. Car accidents are being solved. Do you understand that, how the charts work? Because they're reallocating the people who are dying from other chronic illnesses for that. That's why I call it the cuckoo virus. I've called that from the very beginning. I'm sorry, I was right on that one. I was right on that. Why? Because the minute your Harkonnen television tells you that, I say, no, that's House Harkonnen. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. The minute that Jasmine says it, I say, I don't believe it. Not till it makes some damn sense. I love Jasmine to death, but she got to make some sense. Until it makes sense to Harley when he says, no, I ain't reading nothing Harley Vargas got to say till it makes some damn sense. I'll listen, because these people I know, and these people post things that are against the Harkonnen Empire, trying to poison my body so I'll get a cuckoo flu. So I'll give them more credibility than I will ABC, NBC, Fox News, than anybody on television, but I'm still not going to trust it. I'm still not going to trust it.
So you have totally cooking of the books, and I can go more into detail on that. You have the cooking of the books. You have a political motive of the fact that the establishment elite did not want a guy like Donald Trump ever getting elected, and so he did get elected. So they've been reeling from that. And
I agree with that statement. I agree with that statement from the very beginning when y'all turned on Kanye West because he liked Donald Trump. But I told you from the beginning, slavery is a choice. I got his back in that. Not in the other crazy stuff he said. And the other thing I still agree with is they did not want Donald Trump in office. I still agree with that. I still agree with it. Is he doing what he's told? Hell yeah, he's doing what he's told. No, he's not out there trying to save and fight for nobody. The system won't let him. If he were fighting for Americans, the system would have already killed him. All right, they didn't want him because he's an older dude and he's got that ego. Got a little narcissism. He's not as polished as a Barack Obama. He can't get up on stage and read the Lion Harkonnen script and make people believe it. One, people ain't gonna believe it because he's Donald Trump. We saw him dancing, rapping, and singing with Snoop Dogg and the rest of them, Bobby Brown. We don't believe him. We've seen him on reality TV. We'll question him. They don't want that in office. They want somebody who you will worship. The other side, which I don't get, worships him. But they didn't want him because he'll slip up and say things. Right? When he was over in Russia and he slipped up and said, oh, our security agency is losing emails. Yours, Putin wouldn't do that, right? He slips up and says truthful things. He slipped up the other day and told you that this was an induced pandemic. I know y'all still making that excuse. That's not what he was talking about. He literally said, they said this was induced shut it down. So nothing was shut down yet. They meant the economy. It was induced, and he was just an old dude just running his mouth, right? So no, they didn't want him in there. It's not because they couldn't get him to go along. This man loves money. He was raised as a rich dude. Everybody knows that. The Trump people just don't admit it because they don't like you. And y'all need to like each other. Stop playing this little silly adult fantasy game. You know, we can really fix the world, but we gotta grow up. We gotta get past this nonsense, right? Now they didn't want him in because he says truthful things every now and then. He's like the typical old person, which is what I say. Yes, Christine, who slips. He slips. It's like, how old is your mama? I told you about my mama. I don't tell my mama nothing. I love her to death. But the only time I did two people in my family, if I want everybody to know, I tell my sister or my mama. Why? My sister, she ain't got no boundaries. She just she's just insensitive. She's a counselor, and counselors are just too insensitive. They ain't got no boundaries. She'll tell everybody everything because she thinks it's helping. My mama, she'll slip. Every now and then, you an old person, you talking, yeah, and I was at the stove, and this happened, and Trump was just talking. Yeah, and I got to get off of here. And this is what he's saying in his head. I don't know what else to say. The press conference is over. I just need to get on off this stage. Let me wrap it up. I'm Donald Trump. I love myself. I'm the best at everything, you know. And I was just in the meeting, people. I'm just going to wrap this teleconference up. And I didn't want to shut down the economy, but they said it's artificially induced. I got to shut it down. And he walked off the stage. And one of the sisters, she posted and she wrapped it up. And she said, but if he was talking about something else, why did nobody in the press ask about it? Because the conference went on, the teleconference went on for a little bit after that. None of the reporters said any damn thing. You know why? Because they're all in cahoots, man. It's how Harkonnens work. These people killed JFK, they caused 9/11, killed Martin Luther King, and literally made an entire nation of 240 million people gaslit, stupid, and crazy. The press ain't gonna stand up to that. Ain't none of them reporters gonna ask that question. They know what's going on. They know what time it is. You're the one who doesn't. You believe Harkonnen TV?
And I don't think they want him to get a second term, nor do they want a guy like me to, win in Massachusetts.
No, they don't want him to have a second term. And now this is the part where Walter is right, and it's that CIA nonsense. He's about to tell you to vote for him. No, they don't want him to win, but he already won. It doesn't really matter what's happened. I know my Trump friends. I know them people. They're on my thread. I'm telling you, he won. He won. Y'all could have ran Bernie, you still would have lost. I'm sorry. Y'all just don't have the passion. These people got Trump signs, Trump drawers, Trump pens, papers, because they can't stand y'all. He already won. Doesn't matter who he ran. But it's insignificant in the grand scheme of things. It's complete. They want you to focus on. I'm not focused. Once again, I didn't watch last year's election. I ain't gonna watch this year's. If we ain't all dead by then, not gonna watch it. Don't care. It doesn't matter anything to the system. Who's ever in office is gonna do exactly what they're told and talk through the cracks. That's all. You might luck up and get a crazy president who was a Twitter troll, who's at that Alzheimer's starting to kind of set in a little bit and just got a little ego, likes showboating, and will get up on stage and pull that narcissism and that sociopathism out and tell you something that's true. But you will never get that from a Bernie. You might get that from a Biden. No, you won't get that. And I have his kids in the audience, but we're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there. If you're an adult, you got children, you got grandkids, nieces and nephews. You understand exactly who Mr. Biden is. He is the person that when you go in the grocery store, you make sure that you put your child on the other side of you, not the side they're walking on. All right? We know better than this.
Massachusetts. But given that, exactly. What you're looking at is a strategic move to essentially destroy the economy as using it as a vehicle to impose not only vaccine mandates, which we could talk about, but also as an opportunity to suppress dissent and destroy freedom as a way to curtail what a guy like Donald Trump can do, what people in America can do. And this has essentially been the modus operandi.
That's not true, but that's police. That's fine. Like I said, he just said he's running for Senate, so he got to say what he got to say. Once again, taking the truth, throw out the rest of the nonsense. No, the whole system is done. The whole system is run by Harkonnen from the top to the bottom, from the janitor to the president. They own it all. They own you. George Carlin. All right, they own the entire system. There is nobody fighting the system from within. He's just trying to run. Every single president, I see they all get down at the same Harkonnen tune. Police state, police, less rights, less guns, less freedom, less speech, police state, more drones, more prisons. They all do it. More laws, less drugs. And I believe in drugs. I do. I believe in drugs. I think sometimes in the future, they're going to start taking down to Schedule 1. Like real drug, like things that help people, drug medicine drugs, not Harkonnen, big pharmaceutical chemicals. Those things are great when you have trauma. And I'm not against modern medicine. I'm not against the modern medicine model. I'm against calling it medicine. Okay? That's what I'm against. I think Dr. SHIVA is right on that. Call it for what it is. It is trauma aversion, right? It's taking something that has been abused in war and trying to fix it. And if we just call it what it is, it has its place. Because you might get in a car accident and you need them damn doctors. You're going to need the chemicals, the drugs, anything they got to shoot you up with something. You don't want cannabis when you get in a car accident. You're looking at your leg laying out there and blood squirting out of you. You got your wrist and your hand over there. You can see your foot down the street. No, you don't need cannabis. It takes a little while for people to get high. I've never done cannabis in my life, and I'm just telling you what I think I understand. I want drugs. I want GlaxoSmithKline, Merck Pharmaceutical, Fauci, Bill Gates, powerful drugs that just shoot me up and instantly make me think my foot is attached, right? Because I'm not going to live. I'm not going to make it. That shock ain't going to come on fast enough. If I'm seeing my ear over there and some fingers over there and the kneecap over there, oh, hell no. No, I don't do pain. I don't like that. I ain't no slave. I stand up for children. I stand up. You try to put a Harkonnen shot in me, yeah, you're going to have to kill me, take me from this planet, but not no car accident. There's no passion in that. That's stupid. And literally putting Harkonnens in control of governments, creating traumatic systems from food, water, air, work, everything is stupid. That's not medicine. It's not medicine. All right, that's my point. That's why this man is a genius. I love this man to death, but I don't worship him. He's not my hero. He might be CIA. I don't really care. But what he said right there is true.
Operandi of people like Fauci for many, many years. But for him, this is a huge opportunity. And this ain't his first rodeo. This is his second rodeo. If you go back looking at the HIV, AIDS, fake causality.
Fake causality that got a lot of our brothers and sisters killed. And this is why this man is a war criminal. Because America is a conflict-based war society. Okay? And we lost a lot of LGBTQ because of our bigotry. We lost a lot of people because the AIDS epidemic was spreading through their community, and criminals like him that you watch on TV pumped up the genocide, right? Because they were making money doing it. That's why I don't watch a TV, because I can't choke people on TV. And I can't reach out and choke you. I want some drugs. Yeah, I do want drugs, Patricia. I do. I do want drugs. I'm just not, I'll stand up to some police state Harkonnens. I don't care nothing about that. I stand up to a bear. But as far as the drug part, I'm not gonna do that. That stuff is illegal, people. I'm not gonna give them a reason to. I'm a barbarian. But I'm not gonna literally walk into their traps. A lot of my friends smoke them drugs and do that stuff. I'm not gonna do it. I like natural medicine, and I think I have a right to have some psychedelic mushrooms and stuff like that. But I can't go mushroom picking, Patricia, because I'm gonna pick the wrong one. I ain't doing it. I gotta take Susan if Susan's still around. She gotta take me mushrooms. I'm scared of that. The only thing worse, I'm scared of seeing my toes in front of my face attached from my foot is going to pick the wrong mushroom. No, that'd be a slow death, and the trees will be killing you or something. They'll be smacking you upside your head. The leaves will become demons, start flying around. That's not a way to die. When I die, I want to go doing something nice. Not because I picked the purple mushroom I thought was blue because my eyes don't work as well as they used to at the age of 29.
You know what? You just brought up something about the death count, and I wanted to touch on that with you. We are hearing reports from doctors who are saying they are being instructed to count deaths as coronavirus deaths, even if the person died from a different condition, but at some point in time had contact with somebody who had coronavirus. Dr. Birx just came out and said they're classifying everybody with the virus as a death instead of die from the virus as a death. Why do you think that they are classifying this way? Why do you think there's an exaggeration in the numbers here, if you think there's an exaggeration in the death count numbers?
Look, what I do know is this, that the WHO, in conjunction with the CDC, is the one that decides what are called codes, diagnosis codes. Most people don't know, when you go into a doctor's office, the doctor looks at you.
When you hear CDC or WHO, what comes to mind? That's my question. I think you want to always make sure you address, because see, some people, when I was a kid, well, Doctor Who was Doctor Who. CDC operated, I probably didn't know what that was at first, but after a while, they became organizations I trust. Organizations that say positive things are important. And at my age now, anything that is for profit, I don't trust. I don't trust people who aren't for, I don't even trust my friends. We talked about that. So there ain't no damn way I'm gonna trust a global for-profit corporation. So first of all, who is owned by the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers anyway, which already is a big no-no. And I'm not sure if but they're listed as some 40c3 nonprofit, blah, blah, blah. Do they get profit from people dying? If they are in bed with a medical industry that makes profit on disease and Harkonnen method of using chemical companies like they can treat biological human beings, I have no interest in anything they got to say. So when I hear that, I already don't trust it. But she just told you they've recoded it. So that already tells you that you should not be watching the news. But I think when you think about things from a system perspective, it's so much easier to know what you can listen to and what's going to waste all of your damn time. If it is a for-profit organization, it is going to do what is for profit. If the news is for profit, it's going to say what's for profit. If these medical industry places are for profit, they're going to do what's profit. You've got to get outside of this idea that for profit includes you. For profit is there to abuse you. It might take you along and it might do something nice for you, but the minute it needs to turn on you, it's going to turn on you.
And in their, IT systems, they have to say, okay, Christina has this or this. That is called a diagnosis code. That code, Christina, comes from the WHO. So for coronavirus, as I understand, they created two codes. One code was you explicitly, had a test and you had COVID-19. The other one was completely nebulous. Well, it sort of smells like that. Maybe he's got some chest pains, something so broad, but it was still under the COVID. The doctors in the United States received a letter from the CDC, as I have found out, that went to hospital administrators encouraging them to blur both of those codes. So if someone comes in, they have a pre-existing condition, someone with a chest pain, COVID-19, okay? And in fact, when someone dies, they do the test. Sometimes the test doesn't come back for 14 days. They're still putting COVID-19 on them. So they're increasing the numerator. And then as far as the denominator goes, we don't even know how many people actually have been infected, because this is, again, a flu-type virus. So the denominator could be massive. So you have cooking of the books for two reasons. Hospital administrators get money for the COVID-19 diagnosis, plus they also get kickbacks through what are called GPOs and PBMs for the ventilators. So there's a total collusion going on, and it's not at all about people's lives. So those critically ill patients, immediately they put them on ventilators. And as I've shared in one of my videos,
okay, right? And now what are the whistleblower doctors saying? That literally the doctor knew he walked away from his job. He gave up an income of over 6 figures that's essential to this work, that he went to school for how many years, and he walked away because he said the ventilators are killing people. That everybody they put on the ventilator died. Right? This is the problem with having a for-profit anything, hospital, anything involved in a human being's life. To me, I'm trying to find the middle of the ground. To me, for-profit shouldn't exist. Not if we're sentient, but anything on a human being planet that makes money should have no influence over the life or death of a human damn being. That is the craziest, most stupid system that needs to burn up and go away. And Brother Jimmy, I don't know why you asked me that. You asked me, do I trust the FDA? Do I trust anybody at the federal level of a United States incorporated for-profit corporation since the Act of 1871? Hell no. They're not governing. They're not governing. My government stops at the state level, and I don't even trust them, Jimmy. Because they take money from the federal corporation. That's not a republic, right? Everything that's being done is for profit. I don't like the idea of government, but I love governing more than being a commodity on Wall Street because a for-profit corporation is organized to look like the republic. Hell no, I don't trust the FDA. Who is the FDA? Let me see what they stand for. Federal Drug Administration. If you don't live in the United States, federal. Federal, so first of all, federal is an incorporation that literally stole America's government and replaced the American government in 1871. So for-profit corporation. I don't like you already started off with federal. I have no interest in being a commodity on Wall Street. Drug, they have no idea what drugs are, okay? Natural medicine is not a drug. Now, the drug is the crap that they sell in the pharmaceutical industry. That's the toxic poison that's destroying everybody's ecosystems so they don't have herd immunity in their own body or in the herd because you have microbiology in your body that's a herd. So so they don't know what a drug is. And administration, I disagree with from a core concept of nobody should administer you. Nobody should own or control you. There are no authorities. Nobody should be administering anything. Human beings are free. Nobody should be telling Patricia what to do, Lori what to do. Nobody has authority over Jasmine, Katazarna. I did welcome Katazarna if I said the name right. Nobody's a better Katazarna than you if I'm pronouncing your name right. You don't have an authority. You don't have any owners. This is not a field trip. We don't need anybody signing permission slips. Okay? So I'm okay with governing if they're governing people. If the Federal Drug Administration is going along with a war on drugs that's murdering millions of people every single year because they're growing natural medicines and they get caught walking on the street trying to get or sell to people natural medicines that don't create trauma-like conditions in their body full of side effects from synthetic drugs made in laboratories, then they are not federally drug administering me. They're literally creating an ecosystem that I and my children have to live in, where the police have to carry fully automatic assault weapons, and so do my neighbors to defend themselves, and the people growing the natural medicine because they don't want to live like a Harkonnen and live in trauma-based societies where they need trauma medicine. No, I don't trust them. I don't trust them at all. Not from the beginning nor to the end. They are a criminal organization because they work with a criminal corporation that's killing children. Children. That's why I'm saying at the root level, if you really think about the idea of restarting normal society. Oh, when things get back to normal, that's how I know you're a criminal. Because what's normal is pedophilia. What's normal is death and destruction, murder, rape, and war. No, I don't want that normal. I want that world to burn. I'd rather everybody on this planet burn up and everything restart. Just get rid of all of us. That ain't gonna get me upset. That's what I said. I couldn't be on the internet this weekend because I was gonna say something that's gonna get me in trouble. I'm not a slave. I'm a captive. I'm a barbarian. I am a captive. Shaka Zulu did not say, bend over and take it slow. Right? He didn't say that. Right? William Wallace, he did not say, bend over and ask the Harkonnen criminals that treat you like a slave for a cure. He didn't say that. I don't even know what he said. He was from television. But you see what I'm saying? Not my ancestors that fought. You know, the one that fought and died, you know, they were free. The ones that got caught, that's another whole story.
The ventilators actually can burst and further damage the lungs, because the real issue here is the lungs are being filled with fluid, and the fluid is occurring because of the overreactive immune system, which can really be addressed by IV vitamin C, high dosage. And that is not in the discourse. In fact, 80 to 90% of the people go on ventilators are dying. So this is essentially a death sentence that they're putting people on.
Death sentence, okay? So you debate with that in your head while what Ivana said is true. They're talking about the next political conventions, but you literally have a government that's doing nothing about the fact that ventilators are killing people. And they're being forced to do that, right? People are being thrown off of buses because they don't have masks. Ignorant statements in media about social distancing when you need to be eating things that build up the immunity in your body to protect old people and give them your mask. Brother Jimmy's talking about a constitutional convention. I always appreciate solutions, Jimmy. You know me. If we're going to talk solutions, I love it. But I'm not interested in just always harping on problems. We need to look at how dark these things are. They're not even problems. This is satanic activity. But in terms of a solution, I like the Constitutional Convention. Not completely. I like it from the perspective of admitting that this cannot continue, right? One of the reasons they killed Martin Luther King is because he was trying to start a constitutional convention, according to the brother Dr. Pepper, right? Because in order to solve a problem in this country, you either got to have the numbers or the money. He said, we don't have the money. We got the numbers, right? He realized at the core what's wrong with America is the system. It's not white people, it's not black people, it's not Democrats, it's not Republicans. The system is criminal and it's based in profit. It has to go away. The DNC isn't bad in terms of the people, neither the GOP. They're stupid. There's a difference. So I like Constitutional Convention because we do need to go back and reestablish our roots of freedom and liberty, which is why the country was started. After some of our ancestors murdered our other ancestors and stole their land. But it was based in being free. So we do need to go back to that. The problem is that the federal corporation has been dominating the states for so long. And what's the point of having a constitutional convention when the states are still corrupt and dirty? That's what scares me about the Constitutional Convention. Until the people get a clue, then it's not really going to help a whole lot. I think the first step is education. The first step is actually knowing what's wrong with the world. And that's why I appreciate people who shared, who liked, and who subscribed on multiple platforms. Because this is the conversation we need to have. People have to know what really is wrong at the root level of the system, or they're going to keep playing for power in the system. And then we can have a constitutional convention when you got people who will stand up for each other to make sure they're all free. When you got people who are standing up for health care, are standing up for gun rights, we're getting somewhere. When whites and black folks are standing together, when the Christians and the Muslims get together for a rally, when they realize at the core of it, the fight is always against the haves versus the have-nots. That's the only fight that's ever existed. It's the only one that makes any damn sense. Everything else is a waste of everybody's time. That's why I don't get into it. I love all my folks to death, but anytime they want to get me on this narrative, because they always try to rope people back into the racism. Cue racism, because Michael Jackson is dead, so you can't cue him that he hurt some children or something to get y'all acting stupid because these people are in Hollywood. They always cue up things to make you stupid. And if you're dividing up with people over their skin color, you just, all right, not even gonna go there. I'm gonna let him finish, But yeah, no, I like the Constitutional Convention, Jimmy, but the first step is education. Until neighbor loves neighbor, until all the poor people realize that none of the billionaires are coming to save us, we're in too much trouble, because all we're going to do is reboot the system. And it's still going to stay psychopathic, murdery, bloody. Women ain't got no rights, but we pretend they do. Children ain't got no rights, we pretend they do. Humans have no rights, but we pretend they do. And I'm done pretending. We need to be a free species like every slug on the planet, at least.
Wow, that is so interesting. Well, President Donald Trump said that the cure cannot be worse than the problem, and yet here we are. We continue to be on lockdown status. Do you think the economy should have been closed in the first place? And is this the new status quo anytime we see a new virus?
It's a great question. In my letter to the president, which I sent on March 23rd, I said, look, we live in the era of personalized and precision medicine, which is an expertise of mine, which I get invited all over the world to talk about. What that means is one size does not fit all. You don't lock.
Listen, this is what I'm talking about. He's talking about precision medicine or one size fits all. If you can convince people ignorant enough all over the planet that one size fits all and they got 7 billion different 98% monkey bodies that they're driving, eating different things, you can make a whole lot of money, right? That's why I'm saying this is not medicine. This is literally a psychopathic model of forcing one thing on everybody else because the corporations behind that are ignorant, and they don't want to treat Lori like it's Lori, or Christine like it's a Christine, or Jimmy like it's a Jimmy. You will always have a vaccine defense fund when the people who are in control only care about the money. Money only can profit, and money, all they care about is that they're profiting. They don't care about who gets lost. Right? To me, it's criminal to force anything on anybody else. If one person dies, you can't force, that's a violation.
Lock down everyone. That's what Fauci's model is. It's a medieval model of medicine. And so what we fundamentally have is the approach that we should be taking is taking the people who are truly immunocompromised, truly have COVID-19, fine, they should be isolated, boosted up with immunosupporting things like vitamin A, D, and C. Those of us who are well, we should be back to work. We should be running this economy. Okay, if you want to take something to support your immune system, do that, which should be the vitamin A, the D, etc. One of the two most disastrous things here are we're socially distancing people and hiding them. Go look at the research, a landmark study. When you isolate people, that is one of worse than the detriments from obesity, smoking, and heart disease. Social isolation actually leads to upregulation of inflammatory compounds in the body and down-regulation of antiviral compounds. So you're basically increasing the person for viral infection by the amount of stress you're causing them from social isolation. And separate from that, we're telling people not to go out in the sun, which is vitamin D. Vitamin D is an antimicrobial. So this is essentially a recipe for actually hurting people, not really supporting them, but all brought to you under the rubric, and media says it over and over again, social distancing, flatten the curve. And this is sort of the nonsensical science that Fauci is expounding, and it's what needs to be exposed, and really what we really need to talk about if we truly care about public health is building up people's immune system. But that's not what Fauci and company are concerned about. Their model is big ag, which dirty air, dirty water, dirty food. They want people to consume not food that's healthy for them. And then the solution is vaccine mandates. Think about what's going to happen a year from now. When you go to get your driver's license, Christina, where's your vaccine card? And
where's your shot record as a human? Where's your dog pet shot record from the House Harkonnen proving you can get a driver's license? Because they'll compel you into it. It's called manufactured consent. Who was that? Anna? Thank you, Anna, for that. 500,000 children were left paralyzed when the people who are forcing you to have a shot record will use a police state to force you to get that shot. And I'm not buying that. I'm not going for that. I'm not down with that. You know why I'm not down with that? Which is why I have to be careful what I say. I'm so sick of the recidivism and going to Facebook jail. It's too many kids have been paying the price for me. Too many children have been hurt by these criminals. And that's why my statement is, as soon as y'all make that cure, or as soon as you release the cure to the public to the bioweapon that y'all made, and release different ones, because different countries had different things they released in different spots, probably for profit, for different reasons, to different people. Iranians probably poison Iranians, and Chinese poison the Chinese, American poison the Chinese, American poison the poison. Why? Because it's a coronavirus. Everybody has it. Every bioweapon lab on this planet, day one they open, they start with the common cold virus. Everybody. They all got a variant of it. So I'm not interested in the details of it. And that might be half true, half not true. I really don't care. But what I do care about is the fact that children have been carrying this sword that I'm not going to let them carry it no more. So the minute that y'all get that cuckoo virus cure, make sure you bring it to my house, and make sure you bring the media, because I'll be the spark. If you need me to be the spark, I'll be the spark. I'm not a violent person, and I believe in self-defense. I do not believe in violence in any means necessary, but I do believe in force. And there's a difference between violating people, which is what no government ever does. Government governs people. It doesn't force rule over people. It doesn't inject people, nor does it kill its people. It governs them. That is a very different thing than a corporation that is orchestrated to look like a government. Go ahead and bring it to me. I'll pay that price. I've had 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 1-year-olds, infants that have been paying that price. 10-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds getting shot because they're kids and they couldn't fight back. Guess what? I'm a man. And I'm done. That's what I'm saying, the difference between a slave and a captive. I'm a captive, and everybody has to have their limit. I'm gonna let you know what my limit is right now. My limit is you will not ever put anything Harkonnen in me. Not while my body is pumping blood. It's never gonna, because you do not have a slave in this one. You got a barbarian in this one. I'm not strong as the African, Irish, and Cherokee ancestors that y'all dragged into some slavery. Because I ain't getting on the boat, and I'm not strapping on no chains. Slavery is a choice, and that is an option I will never take. All right, let's let this wrap up.
Fauci's already talking about that.
Yes.
Can you go to a
yes, he is.
This is about developing a police state. I hate to use these very harsh terms, but that is what we're talking about, control of the individual. It's a very, very dangerous time, but it's also an opportunity for Americans to go back to our roots, which is freedom, which is basically listening to truth and basically starting to, take back what is really ours, which is our truth, freedom, and health. And Fauci's not about that. He serves the masters of Bill Gates, the Chan Zuckerbergs, the Clintons, the CDC, the WHO, and in fact, the Chinese.
Take it all back, though. Take it all back. Don't take any scraps from the Harkonnen table. We know they got free energy patents. You're wasting your time working. It's an inefficient society when you have human beings doing what robots and software do better. Deploy those things to free the human race. Let's release everybody and free everybody. I love how this man talks. I love how the man talks. There is no reason for you wasting the whole world's time. You going to be an accountant. You suck at it. There's no reason you wasting your time. Now, if you got a passion to be a nurse, then you should be a nurse. If you got a passion to be a doctor, you should be a doctor. But that's why I appreciate the Q guy, not how he said what he said. If y'all saw the video, I think Meg sent it to me. But the fact that he was being honest and now started talking about the fact that there's a UFO, admittedly, on the television by the United States government. Was the last one to admit up to it, that somebody on this planet's flying around in a free energy device and they released a patent. So you should literally be living a lifestyle of freedom. You should be born on this planet. You got a right to go do whatever you want. All this technology was made by your ancestors for you, not for massive corporation and Harkonnen families.
This is what we're seeing before in front of our eyes, is exporting Chinese model of governance, top down, controlling the last oasis of freedom, which is our human body.
And it's very concerning. It's very scary, as well as social distancing. And we just have a little bit of time left here. Another thing they're pushing are these masks and these gloves. And I'm seeing people making these makeshift homemade masks and literally putting their lives in the hands of these masks and gloves. How well do these actually work? And you touched on it just briefly, but what is the real solution to coronavirus?
Look, the real solution, Christina, as any solution to any pathogen, we need to understand that the medical establishment, the pharmaceutical medical establishment, for hundreds of years has built its entire foundation of always blaming a virus or a germ. Always. So when scurvy came around, remember scurvy, when people's teeth would fall out and they had bleeding gums? Oh, it must be a virus. Well, it was deficiency in vitamin C 100 years later, when even people on the ground knew it. When pellagra came out, which was when people's skin and everything would get all dry, horribly dry, and like eczema, ultimate conditions. Oh, it must be the Italians who are coming over the ship. They're bringing some dirty germs, and we need to quarantine them. Well, it turned out it was a deficiency in niacin, so on. So what we're seeing here is the virus hunters, the bacterial hunters creating fear. So the real solution is, number one, is to recognize that the immune system is quite strong. We're actually a walking ecosystem of germs, 380 trillion viruses, 60 trillion bacteria among the 6 trillion cells. There's viruses all around us. The reality is a strong immune system always handles this beautifully. It's the weakened immune system. So all those masks and all this stuff, people didn't wear this for humanity, okay? The issue is, how do you beef up the immune system? As I wrote to the president, vitamin D. Vitamin D is an antimicrobial. Why do you think in many of these hot countries we don't hear any about this? Vitamin A, which is all from the rich leafy green, dark green vegetables and fruits. That supports your body to create keratin, cytokeratins through vitamin A, which protects your cells. So these are the two foundation pillars. Yet Fauci and Birx do not talk anything about that, because a V in vitamin is an anathema for their vaccines. And same with the V in vitamin C is an anathema for their ventilators. You see, it's ventilators and vaccines. Yeah. And this is big pharma. And these guys need to be fully exposed. And in my view, people like Fauci need to be indicted for a lot of serious scientific crimes. That's why when we put out this petition, Fire Fauci, I think close to 50,000 people have signed it in 48 hours. And at least we have close to 1,000 medical doctors from all over the world. Everyday people get this. In fact, the unfortunate handcuffed medical professionals get this. This is an opportunity, a huge opportunity, Christina. The real solution is for us to rethink how much governance and how much over-respect we give to MDs who unfortunately know nothing about the immune system. They don't study that in medical college or medical school.
All right, I'm gonna stop there. I'll post a link. Somebody post the link for Fire Fauci. It's a petition. Should not be 50,000 names on that. There should be 7 billion names on that petition. It's time to just reverse back the flow. It's time to take everything back to being a sustainable world.
Excellent points there, Dr. Shiva. Thank you.
All right, and this is why you won't see him on mainstream media, because he says he speaks solutions. He doesn't speak to conflict. In conflict world, you need people who don't talk about solutions, but just keep re-mentioning the same problem and a profitable non-solution. That's what you get when you have a for-profit world. Susan asked who the Harkonnens are. I'm debating on whether or not Susan and I are going to remain friends now. You don't know who the Harkonnens are? How old are you? What the hell is going on? Susan, one of the most the thug life truthin' people I know, and I thought she knew. Y'all don't know even what I'm talking about. The Harkonnens. The Harkonnens were from Dune. These are Harkonnens. The race, the House Harkonnen, the people who believed in synthetic. They poison their air, their food, their water. The Harkonnens are the Americans, people. The Rothschilds and Rockefellers. They poisoned everything to where they only existed. They had boils everywhere. They were sick, unhealthy. Everything was radiation because they gave up their immune system. They outsourced everything to cyborgism, and they literally had a trauma-based, war-based, triage-based medical system. That's who House Harkonnen is. And they fight over the spice. And that analogy can go several different ways, but this was the Baron. He ran everything. Everything was by fear and control. But they literally outsourced every human function to some profitable technology, and they went the path where they want to take America and the rest of the world. That's who it was. Because this Dune was a sucky movie. Oh, shut up. Patricia, cut it out. No, Dune was a great movie. You got to watch that again. Dune was one of the best movies in the world because now it explains to us how our world actually works. Dune was basically a couple different houses fighting over power, which is what the model for Earth right now. We know that 13 to 200 families fighting over control of every damn thing. It was House Harkonnen, House Atreides, House whatever, and they were fighting over the spice. Right now, that spice happens to be a martial medical law, fear currency. It used to be oil, but now we're moving on to something else. And he who controls the spice controls the world. He who controls the fear of the adults controls the world. So it's a great movie. A lot of good analogies in it. Y'all should watch it. It was a fantastic movie. Yeah, there were books too. You can watch the books. All right, I'm gonna go look at some of the commentary. We're gonna get out of here. But that's what's going on. It was a great weekend. A lot of truth. The truth is just piling up, just piles, and people can't see it. I didn't see it. I'm scared of the virus. Like, that's not the virus. That's that pile of truth showing you that criminals run your world. Like David Icke said, there's literally a cult that runs your world. Like Brother Albert, who just came in the house, said. That brother taught me. A lot of people here taught me. Like I said, Brother Albert blew it up on the spot one day. He said, America is being looted. It is a looting operation, is what he said. I quoted him. I might have to quote him today again. It's a looting operation because it's a plantation. We either decide we want to be free or we stick to it. Hashtag kill the cameras. Yes, Brother Robert Walton, kill the cameras, because the only thing that should have privacy on this planet is human beings and animals. Government, no system should have privacy. You can't have a privacy-based system that's looking out for you. You can't have secrets in government that looks out for you. You can't have secrets in corporations that's looking out for you. We can build an open source world anytime we want. A lot of great solutions, we just got to do them. You can't have secrecy. If someone has secrecy over you, it's a master-slave relationship. All right, master-slave. If you're tired of being a slave, like Kanye West said, who was 100% right, slavery is a choice. It's always been a choice. Abuse is a choice. It's always been a choice. And when there are people who are born into abusive situations, it is the job of the people who know better. It's a collective choice at that point. That person was born into it and they didn't know any better. They watched their father beating up their mother beating up their father, or they were an American citizen who liked baseball, apple pie, and believed in like being a slave. It's up to the people who can see through the cracks of what everybody's saying to the truth, right? Because it's only the truth that'll set you free. Only the truth will set you free, and slavery is a choice. All right, teaching loving ways. Gerard is a great example, and his family doesn't listen to him either. Yes, treating loving ways, Lori. I'm not sure I'm a great example, but yeah, my family, they don't listen at all. I can't even read their text messages no more, Lori. I can't do it. I'm afraid some juice is gonna come out that text message and get into my brain and infect me and give me some cuckoo something. I was like, oh, the news, did you see the news? Oh my God, they were doing procedures. Oh goodness, where's my phone at? Nah, I should put them. They're talking about how to wear masks and what kind of mask you should get and gloves and where you can get them just in case and social distancing. And I was like, boy, y'all believe this, huh? Y'all really, they like that TV. That's why I love that name, conspiracy theory. It's just somebody who believes the truth ain't on billionaires Harkonnen TV. That's what a conspiracy theorist is. Someone who just believes that billionaires don't put what's unprofitable to their billion-dollar industries on your television set, who own all the news. Oh, Lord, we all gonna die. But this is the funnest end of the world that I've ever lived through. All right, plant seeds and keep walking. Larry, there you go. Get outside, plant seeds, keep walking. You know, some old people, get them out there in the sun. They need to be in the sun. Give them your hoarding mash or hoarding gloves. That's what people need to do. The opposite of what the Harkonnens tell you to do is usually the truth. Everybody has their own individual DNA. Yes, sure they do. And everybody has their own individual, unique treatments and things that they need if they're a sovereign creature. If they're a slave, then mass slave plant treatment of a medical system and percentages that die is okay. That genocide stuff that Mr. Bill Non-Fence talks about all the time, flying all over the world, telling everybody, oh, social distance, you need to be on lockdown. Does he look like he's locked or down? Bill Gates literally is in Bahamas and California and Japan, and he's doing interviews all over the world, and he ain't social distancing at all, but he told you to. And that's what a slave master does. It tells you what you gonna do, not what it does. All right, he's Baron Harkonnen, that's his name to me. There must be someone new here who keeps putting happy laughing faces. You know what, Ivana, could be, might be some trolls. Somebody mentioned troll before. I can't see who the trolls are, so I don't know what to say. So if somebody's trolling or somebody has an opposite perspective or view, I would love to hear it. I'd love to hear if you've got a solution. Something that involves in not picking a new slave master for me. I'd love that solution. Oh, there go Brother Albert. Zionist slave plantation, G. That's all it is, Albert. I didn't even know what a Zionist was till Brother Albert and Tony and Patricia, who are always on it. I had no idea. And they was like, you know, because other people were like, the Jews, that's the Jews. And I'm like, what you mean? I grew up with the Jews. They stupid as I am. We all stupid together. And they nice people. I don't understand. We Christian, you know. But then people explain to you like the specifics and the details. If y'all don't follow Brother Albert Bashai, you should follow him. He's another one who just puts out raw truth. He's got a lot of interesting things that will teach you how your world works. And it's not even like the whole thing with the whole Zionism. It's just that they shouldn't have power. I'm fine with them a group. They should get together and play pinochle and bingo and Twister, but they should not have a nation. They can't have power. They can't Power is the problem. When you look at things from a root perspective, you can fix things. As long as Democrats have power over you, if you took the Democrats and put them in Zionist shoes, they would be doing the same thing. If you put Republicans and put them in Zion, they'd be doing the same thing. Power corrupts. Total power corrupts absolutely. And I know I just George Bush that quote, but that's okay. I do that every single time. If I know what's going on in the world a little better than you do, and I can't even get a quote right, sound like George Bush, then you know you could do phenomenal. Learn some truth, share the truth, and teach people around you. But walk away from the fear. The fear is a currency that keeps power, corrupt power, controlling a planet that needs to have free humans. I'm going to say governing over anyone requires force. And that's why, Rebecca, at the core, I'm an anarchist. I don't believe in abuse. Force is abuse. I don't, well, to say it right, it's violence, right? It's a violation. At the core, I don't believe in anyone violating anybody else. So I actually can't believe in government. I do think that to walk away from this, you probably have to slowly remove power from governing and start taking care of people and, actual governing, not corporationing that looks like a governing. But my end state is always anarchism. I don't believe in slavery. You got anarchism and slavery. There is no government. It's just you either are controlled or not. And if a government has a police force or a police state, it's not actually governing, it's ruling. If Obama put up more prisons than elementary schools and Trump put tons more police on the street, it's obvious if you have a government or a slave plantation. It's a slave plantation. All right. And all you got to do is read the law to know this. Watch TV to be stupid. Oh, yeah, okay. Ask me who the Harkonnens are. Okay. Vocational people are no longer permitted in a business insurance world. No, they're not, Kat, because we need more vocational people. They're called functional people, people who actually do things for other people, people who actually do things with their hands. Right now is vocational time, Kat. Right now, people need to learn skills that actually support their communities. Absolutely. Absolutely. Instead of doing the things that you get paid well to do, because billionaires own the schools and own the education system, own the degree programs in the universities to funnel slaves into the segments of their plantation that makes them the most money. I do too with all the other shots. Can't get around not to give rabies shots. Ivana, I guess you're replying to somebody else. I don't believe in shots. I don't believe in, I think if you want to do them, you should do them. I think that's a science that needs to be vetted out a little more. I appreciate, Ivana, what Del Bigtree says, right? That it's 100 years old, right? It's based in 100-year-old methodology. They need to take the vaccine science forward. So I'm not against any technology. I'm not against any tool. I'm against the irresponsible use of it, right? If you paralyze 400,000 or 500,000 children in India, then your model is dirty at the core, right? You can't force that on anybody. To me, it's about principle. I'm not against any tool or any technology. I love robots. I love automation. We should have lots of that, but it needs to be deployed to help people. That's what governments do. They don't create it to go murder other people. Certainly not their own people. I'm going to apply for the PPP today. You can use it for more than just payroll. Okay, I don't know what the PPP is, Megs. I don't even know what that is. I've been using vitamin D oral spray on my disabled daughter as she can't take tablets. Okay. Vitamin E is good for oxygenating the blood. I understand. That all sounds about right to me, Kat. But the best vitamin D always is from the sun. And vitamin E, I don't know too much about, but your best source to boost your immune system and all the microbiology in your body is to put natural things in your body in a whole fashion. And that's what I always lean to. If we've been eating whole foods for millions of years, then that's how it's going to benefit our bodies the best, right? There's how many trillions of microbiology in your body, and we don't know how they all need to see those vitamins and minerals and enzymes, but they all evolved to take it in a whole form. So I always lean towards whole. Supplements could be good, but it's like the pharmaceutical industries, right? Like they try to do simple solutions. I always push people back to get as much whole food in you as possible. I will not petition the evil government. Yep, Lori, that's a good thing. That's why Lori doesn't vote. She's done petitioning evil. All right, let me see. Rulers of the universe. Yeah, Jimmy, well, they want to rule the universe. Everybody wants to rule the world, and they want to rule us. And at a certain point in time, we just got to say, you know what? Enough with master-slave relationships. We can build a new world. This is our opportunity. We're going to seize it instead of putting the world back into a normal. Plus, normal's dead anyway. It's never coming back. The government hates us. Don't beg them. Yeah, Lori, that's a little strong, sis. I won't say they hate us. We're non-existent to them. They are a system that requires power, and people like freedom, and people tend to get in the way of power. And so it feels like they hate us. They don't really hate us. We're invisible to them. Don't vote, don't petition. I hear what you're saying. Oh, you're saying, well, that petition, Lori, is I think it's to put Fauci in prison. I think it's to put Fauci where he belongs. I think it's to call out the war criminals. Fire Fauci. Although I think it's firing him is not enough. But he definitely shouldn't be on no TV. Nobody who has any interest in anything helping people should be watching that man on TV. Anytime his face goes on television, they should watch the ratings tank. And when that happens, then they'll realize that people aren't following the lie anymore. All right, my brain kept going through my ancient civilization files, not its movie files. Oh, okay, Susan, you should watch it. Dune was a great movie. Spice made space travel possible. Yes, Jimmy, just how oil does and free energy does. And he who lies about free energy controls space travel. He who lies about the spice controls that. When they first found oil, they didn't tell nobody. And that's how they got us here. Standard Oil, Rockefeller. Let me see. Love the truth going around. I do Debbie Maxfield. I love today. I have never seen so many people talking truthful things that I don't like. That's what I love about it. You know it's true if you don't like it. If everybody likes it, it's probably a lie. If it's something that conflicts with your indoctrination, it's probably true. Yeah, Dune was great, Albert. Albert, you doing a show today? Yeah, and Albert's on YouTube also. Albert, don't hesitate to advertise yourself. Post a link for your YouTube channel so people can go there and subscribe to you. Banks have all been emptied. All the cash is gone. Well, that's true fact, real facts, Jimmy. And this is the problem: is they're cashing out. This is when Brother Albert said a while ago that America's a looting operation, and those who have finished looting us are leaving now. They're done. They're going to move on and do what else they're going to do with Russia or China, or maybe they're going to retire. And now what we see is those who are trying to keep the control system in place, keep the plantation afloat, are buying into the currency, right? So you got a power vacuum. Anytime you have that, you've got people who are like, yeah, that we were just beneath that trillionaire level. We want to be at that level. So we'll see if we can stabilize this and get things back to normal. And I don't care whether it's Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Democrats, Republicans, Federal Incorporation, or the Stevens family. I don't want to be a slave. And so I think that we say no to normal, and we demand free energy, we demand food systems, we demand to be let out of lockdown, and we demand to be free human beings. We demand freedom. Yeah, Zionist slave planet. Hey, Ty is up. Ty, what the hell are you doing up this early? All right, JFK times, CIA. Well, they killed JFK, Susie, so they can get away with this. I still don't know exactly what a Zionist is. Zionist is a political organization, Ivana, who hides within a group of people in a religion called Jewish people. Jewish people are just people, they're just good people, and they hide within them. Psychopaths always hide within groups of good people. Same way the Democrats and Republicans hide in groups of good people. I click laughing faces. I'm not a troll. Yeah, I know, Rebecca. I can see you laughing. Well, you know what I think what happens if you're not friends, and I told all y'all to be friends, y'all didn't want to be friends, so y'all not friendly. You can't actually see. When your friends laugh, you can see who they are. So I can see when people are laughing. And I can see because it shows me right at first when they do it. Patricia Negron is all over the Zionists. Please follow her. Yes, and she is now kicked off of Facebook. Patricia Hauser. Uh-oh, I'm sorry, I'm burping. Excuse me. Whew, I gotta get some more coffee. She's kicked off of Facebook again. If you say too many truthful things, there's like a rotation that happens. The system only allows for so much dissent. So usually seems like when Patricia's kicked off, I'm on, or I'm kicked off, or she's on, or Ty is off, Ty's on, Tony's off, Albert's off. So it's like there's a limitation, a balance. You can only allow so much truth in the public domain. But she's currently out for, I think, 30 days, if I'm not mistaken. It's some people's pet project that's supposed to be all encompassing, but clearly isn't. But I let them think it is. All right, I guess you're replying to somebody, Todd. I can't see who's replying to who. All right, but now in the last couple comments and I'm gonna run. Government is the highest level organized crime. It is, Albert. That's why I'm an anarchist at the core of it. I don't believe in slavery anymore. I think we can have facilitators, but we can't have governing anymore because they don't ever govern. Anytime you set up a government, it ends up being some sort of a control system and enforced, because in order to have a government, you have to write laws. To write laws are the opposite of freedom, right? Because you're using force to make somebody do something. And so if you need a gun to make somebody do something, to me, you're no different than a rapist, a criminal, a thug, because you're forcing people to do what shouldn't be done. So I'm against it at the core. But facilitators, if the legislators want to become facilitators and help grow operations just to facilitate to get the food out to people and organize the trucks and make sure everybody has food and freedom and all that stuff, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Training, helping people to be sustainable, delegating land to new kids when they're born, they're given their 40 acres to go out there and be a part of the ecosystem. I'm all for that, but using a model of do what we say or we will kill you or put you in a cage, I'm not interested in that. Ty's a QAnon head. I don't think Ty's a QAnon head, Lori. I don't think that's what he is. But I appreciate the Q folks now who are talking about free energy. I don't think Ty's a Q head. I'm gonna keep my words to myself because I'm not starting that up. Y'all not gonna pull me back into that. I just don't believe in villains and I don't believe in heroes. That's all I'm gonna say on that. That's what Forrest Gump said, and that's all I know about that. Yeah, well, the problem is Trish Negron got banned off of this satanic platform again. Yeah, well, Albert, she did, because Trish doesn't pull any punches. I pull punches and I laugh a lot. I make jokes. We talk about some aliens, Bigfoot, whatever, Loch Ness. And I try to navigate a little more, but even still, when you say truthful things, anything that's too true will never be on Facebook, and they'll never let it stay if you actually get it there. And it's not about Facebook, it's about control. We have a controlling cult that runs this world. As long as we got that, then honest things will never be on platforms they control. We all need to be truth tellers and sharers. Yes, we do, Lori. Look into glutathione and aster something, two very potent natural antitoxins. Thank you, Ivana. If you've got a link, a good place to start. All right, government is killing us. Yes, because that's what government's supposed to do. Its job is power, and anything that gets in the way of power should be killed or subjected. And when you think about it from a principle perspective, it's very easy. We need to morph government into something helpful. Right, and this is where I'm saying, Lori, we are government, but you have kids who are passionate and they have no other place to put that passion, so they end up being legislators where really they should be facilitators. So we have a use for people who have that passion, but it should be governing. It's like doctors, right? They just want to help and they want to be healers. We don't have a place to put them other than naturopathic doctors, which is still for profit, which we got to flip that system as well. And so they get pushed into places where they're not helping. That's hate to you. Well, it is definitely, Lori said that's hate to me. It is deployed hate, and it will be received on that level. Yep, they're all puppets. I completely agree with you. Let me see. And any good products that work doesn't need advertising. Exactly, Susan. You don't have to have advertisement if your product works. If your product works right, and man knows, right, and man knows make me mad. What are we saying, Anna? Watch the original Dune, though, not the new one. Oh, is there a new one, Anna? I haven't seen the new one. Yeah, y'all need to watch the original one. And I'll say that, Anna, and this is where the book people will get me. They'll be like, no, read the book. The book is better. I read the book. I don't remember the book, so I don't. But usually the books are better. They just take more time. Blackstone buying up the U.S. Whoever it is, Rebecca, it's just the U.S. has to ask that question: do they want to be bought? And right now, most people want to be bought. Most people want to be slaves. Most people want to be what Kanye West said. Most people are choosing slavery over freedom. They want to be bought. Only products are bought. Only commodities are bought. If there is a birth certificate required for a human being, it means you're owned by somebody, right? Those numbers are utilized and they're actually traded on Wall Street. And there's a website, I forgot the name of it. You can actually look up the red number on your birth certificate on the lower right, and you can see what you're worth, what your stock is trading at. You are literal stock on the market. But most people want to be, they'll fight Kanye West when he says something true, but they will fight to be slaves. Because slavery is a choice, and it's always been a choice. Cooperation does not require force or control, not rocket science guy. Right, Brother Randy? And this is the point, and this is the deep part about it, is if your system works, other people will want your system. You don't have to advertise it. If America's free, I guarantee you every other country in the world will want to be that way. And that's why I think we do need to step up. We have the resources, we have the information, we have the internet. We just don't have people grown enough to look into the types of systems that don't use force and control. Resource-based economy, Zeitgeist Movement, Venus Project, there's a whole bunch of them, pick your choice. Facebook is CIA profiling, no matter what we think. All social media is heavily controlled. Absolutely, Randy, it is. They're profiling, and well, because what they're doing is these systems are still running because somebody's buying America. Someone's buying the currency, somebody's buying the United States Incorporated, and whoever the new buyer is, these systems want to be in place with a new buyer. We have an option: either we're going to derail those systems and build a new world, or we're just going to wait for our new owning family to step into place. Life is pain, highness. Anyone who says differently is just selling something. Life is pain, highness. Who said that, No Cliff? Is that a quote from a movie? Life is pain. It's very painful, but it doesn't have to be as painful as it is. And we can make life less painful for every generation. We can keep moving forward, but that's a choice. We got to choose to want to do that. I thought all we had a value of $500,000 supposedly. Everyone's value is different, Patricia. I looked at it a long time ago. Everyone has a different value. And I don't even know where it comes from. I mean, people are bought and sold just like prisoners in the prison system. They're invested in. Trauma-based mind control is how we have been conditioned to think, or from a place of fear. Absolutely. Fear is the new currency. Time to acknowledge where we are in our thinking. Acknowledge it, Randy, then we can do something with it. When we say slavery is a choice, then we can choose otherwise. But until then, we're cheering of a system that sees us all as invisible people. G was saying some people in government are good. I say not true. No, I'm not. No, Lori. Did I say that? I take that back if I said that, Lori. I changed my mind. Not some people in government are good people. All people in government are just people. That's all they are. It's the environment that make people good and bad. Everybody, everywhere they are just people. If we are in environments to join the police state, we will. If we're in environments to become doctors and nurses, we will. If we're in environments that make us into very dark people, we will become that. So I think everybody is good. I think there is no bodies. I don't think we're all individuals. I think separation is illusion. I think we're all one. And the more of us's that we put in good environments, the better we become. I think government as a system is psychopathically based in force and control, and that's what has to go away. But don't follow any leaders. Like Lori said right after that, don't ever follow any leaders. Only slaves follow leaders. The world is China. Wait a minute. The world is China. The world is China is buying the U.S. Oh no, the word is China is buying the U.S. Ivan, I really don't really subscribe to nations. I mean, I think they exist on certain insignificant levels, but like on really powerful levels, they don't really exist. I think China is doing their thing, like America's doing their thing, and Russia's doing their thing. But I don't think China has the power or the money to buy the U.S. I think maybe billionaires and trillionaires who might own large portions of China could buy the U.S. That makes sense to me and how the world works. Usually nations and countries are used to get people, the herds, to conflict amongst each other. But yeah, I don't really think in terms of nature anymore. I mean, in terms of nations anymore. I don't think they actually exist. I think they give us that construct because it's easier to keep us in the matrix if they keep us fighting with each other. I don't believe in the identities anymore. I think power, money, and economics are the only systems that we need to focus on anymore, or that I focus on. We're luckily here, not hungry, a roof and bed, a roof and a bed to sleep. And we are, Christine, we are privileged, and that is a huge privilege right now. There are a lot of people who don't have houses right now. A lot of people don't have food. A lot of people are running out of food. So we are privileged. We need to act like it, and we need to free people. We need to free people from abuse. We need to free them from abusive systems. And to me, I think it starts with educating yourself, looking at the basic rules of force and violence. If I said that the right way, natural law, we got to stand up for each other and push in the right direction. We need a free planet. We can have a free planet. It's just a choice. All right, listen, it's Gerard. Got to get going. Love y'all to death. I'm tired. I don't know what I'm doing today. It's raining. But I have software I can write. I don't have gardening I can do. And I probably got some seedlings that I need to repot. So I'm out of here. Listen. Oh, last comment. Uh-oh. That was the last comment. Who's that? Patricia Hauser. I's right about one thing, even if he doesn't do it himself. Y'all are still fussing. Raise that energy level. Say TF out of that loosh. I have no idea what any of that means, Patricia Hauser. Uplifting music, Gerard. Yeah, this is Brother Pat Riley, uplifting music. Ty is right about a lot of things. I just don't believe in Q. I don't believe in QAnon. I don't believe in Democrats. I don't believe in Republicans. I don't believe in Zionists. I don't believe in Americans. I don't believe in any identities because they're on TV. I just believe in people to people. We're all connected. We're all going to look out for each other. We're all going to die. We need less heroes. We need less villains. We just need to move on and change the world from a consciousness perspective. So this is Gerard. I got to get going. Y'all have a wonderful day. Like Pat says, make modern slavery stop. Slavery is a choice. Stop choosing slavery. Listen to Kanye West, but don't believe Kanye West. All right, it's Gerard. I got to go. Y'all have a fantastic day. Try to do something decent today. People, less arguing, less fussing, less fighting. And I'm out. Bye. If we open up the doors, well, what do you think about that? Do you want to free, boom, boom, free the people? Do you want to free, boom, 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 boom? Do you want to boom, 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 boom? Do you want to free?